you guys need. So if there's anything that you guys want to talk about or go over while we're here, then let's do it.
Just going through the software, man. So I'm just seeing if there's anything that, any announcements or anything the other guys wanted to talk about. So in case we had to make any decisions, I'm just seeing if there's anything I wanted to say. That's all.
What's up, Kevin?
Great. I'm just listening.
Well, this is not listening time, it's talking time. So
yeah.
This is talking time, not listening time.
Oh, I'm sure I'll talk when I hear people. Is it just the three of us?
No. There's a couple there. There's 7 of us here right now.
Nice. I'm just here for the monkey.
Easier.
Yeah. As long as the monkey makes the meeting.
Akita's actually hosting this meeting today. It's her job to host the meeting.
Pseudo-hosting.
Totally not pseudo-hosting, actually.
Pseudo-hosting today.
Technically hosting. For sure hosting. It's her job today.
See that dog. Hey, please.
You're being a bad host.
So what's up, guys? Do you have any questions? Are you facing any difficulties to go through the software? Anything that you want to know? Anything we can help?
Hi, John. It's Michael. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey. I have a question with regards to Link Wizard again. Are there any plans to have QR codes as well? Currently, I'm just working around by creating a QR code and then putting a link behind that.
Yeah, I mean, we could for sure build them. Honestly, I've been stuck on these conversion scripts, trying to get these conversion scripts right, and they're still not completely done yet. So I've been stuck on that for a couple weeks, like that. So what happened is the person that was actually building them, she ended up quitting and she ended up actually getting mono, and then after she got mono, she ended up quitting. So my other guy that's been working on Link Wizard, I had him go in and actually try to finish them up, and then he kind of had to start all over, and then they're still not 100% right yet. So I'm hoping by Tuesday they'll be 100% right, and then we're pretty much open game. Got a couple other things on the to-do list, like you had asked for that. You had asked already for that, like time zone selector on the schedule. So we got that on the to-do list. But yeah, we can for sure add in some type of QR code.
And I figured there are some time zones in there, just not for the individual schedules, but there are already time zones in there. That I thought that's new, right?
They may have done it. So to be honest, it may have been something that's been done and pushed out, but I don't think so. So I think that I'm not sure. I'll have to double check. We built so much stuff that I'll have to double check, and a lot of it, Paul Easter's managing that, so he may have scheduled it out. He's working directly with the devs, and he's the product owner for that, so he may have scheduled it out. And I don't. Once a product has a product owner, as long as they're making progress, I kind of let them be the product owner instead of
sure.
But for sure, can add QR codes. I mean, especially once the new year comes around and I'm literally like done with clients, we can do anything and everything.
I get a lot of interest for Link Wizard over here. So a lot of people.
And we are going to also implement a whole new design for every software. So Link Wizard also will get a design update in this new year. So
it's awesome how I think, John, you mentioned it like a couple of weeks ago when you said we just slap a new design on it and then we can sell it like a ton more expensive. And indeed, it looks way better just by changing the design.
Yeah, we have been posting the designs for the other software. So I guess you guys already have seen like what kind of designs are coming for domain leads or marriage app or sticky reviews.
Everything's getting redesigned.
Yeah.
Oh, looks really good what they're planning there.
Do I remember hearing, John, March is when you're anticipating rolling out the redesigns?
For what? For
Well, Magic Zap hopefully will be done by the end of this month. So hopefully Magic Zap will be done by the end of this month. And then let's see, sticky reviews will be implementing sticky reviews next, that entire design, because I think he's almost completely done. Well, all right, so after that we'll implement, we've got the HTML people actually doing the domain leads design right now, so that will be done by mid-January, because it's going to be done for the JV Zoo launch.
And then after that we'll go for the sticky review, and
then after that we're going to be kind of doing
kind of the template we first.
Yeah, we're doing just the templates on invoicing you, just what the client sees when they go pay. We've got like 6 different templates, and then we're building like a template manager in your settings where you'll be able to go in and pick any one of those 6 templates that you want to use, and then edit all the color schemes to match your branding and everything, and then your invoices will show up on that template. So we'll implement that, and then we'll implement sticker reviews. He hasn't started even on the design for Link Wizard yet, but I'm assuming that he'll probably start that design probably by January. So it's very possible that
maybe April, like March, April.
Yeah, I would say by May, every single software will have been redesigned. Every single software will have been completely redesigned by May at the latest. But they're not going to be all done at once. We'll roll out one and then roll out the next one and roll out the next one. So Magic Zap will be done by the end of this month, like I said. Then domain leads by end of January or middle of January, and then the invoicing. The invoicing you templates will probably be implemented by January, by the end of January. Sticky reviews, it's possible that could actually be done by the end of January, if not middle of February, and then depends on how Link Wizard goes. That probably by the end of March, that will probably be released as well.
At the same time, Textenberg also will get that Peter designs, right?
And
designs that Peter provides.
Then the entire Invoicing You platform, the inside of it is going to be redesigned. That will probably be done by the end of March. And then by the end of March, so when we'll be releasing probably around the end of December, an improved version of Text in Bulk that doesn't include a redesign. It just includes a lot of optimization on the speed side of everything, and a lot of refactoring on the code so that things always work properly and work a lot faster. Then right after that, we'll be doing the redesign to actually redesign everything, and then starting on new features, including the voicemail drops that everybody are wanting, probably custom merge tags so that you can collect your own data, probably a couple other API integrations like Tower Data and Hunter integration, so that whenever you run your searches for like Yelp and Google Leads, you can also grab in the emails at the same time. Some additional functionality for the incoming calls, what you can actually do with the incoming calls. Most likely some type of scheduling system where you can go into your call configure to your number configuration, and you can set up different schedules, and you can configure how a number operates. Let's say during 9 to 5, it does this thing, and then outside of those hours, it's configured to do something else, like forward calls, or take them in the browser 9 to 5, and after 9 to 5, send them to your IVR that just tells people, hey, we're closed. If you want this information, press 1. If you want to leave a message, press 2 or whatever.
Implement some kind of calendar also.
Yeah, we'll be implementing some type of calendar so that you can see all your everything that you have scheduled in the future. If you have follow-up scheduled in the future, stuff like that. So lots of stuff by March. This will be a whole new world come March, really.
Great stuff. I'm recommending, if we can anticipate when a new feature update or when a new design update is, that we pre-announce the date, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks in advance, so that we can start upselling people, buy now before we raise the price in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. So
but Magic Zap, for design updates, we will announce it in the groups that like 1 week before or 2 weeks before that. hey, this software is like getting design update and is going to be ready and push to the server by this date, so that you guys can like go for the upselling and whatever you want to do. So
still been a little scattered because I still have clients that I'm servicing until the beginning of the year. So now that all their time's running out, they've been, you know, leaning on me a lot more heavily to help them with their transition to their new developers and their new companies, and do, you know, all the knowledge transfers from what we've been working on for the last 3 years to now trying to get their new companies that are going to be servicing up to speed. So just been real strung out on that because it's a lot of work. But come the first of the year, I won't have any of those obligations anymore, which will be awesome. So yeah, we'll be definitely a lot more engaged in and be able to give you like kind of a running schedule of updates that we plan on that should be released, design updates that should be released, so you guys have a little bit of a head start so you can do whatever promotions and stuff that you want.
So anyone else?
If I could ask, what is the situation with partnership shares right now? I understand, I mean, I've seen a couple people selling their dropouts and all. So I was just curious, you know, how that's all working.
So I still do have the partnership open. So we've got plenty. There's technically, so I wanted to keep 2,500. I wanted to keep 2,500 shares reserved for Tier 5 for our expansion and growth, so I didn't have to come back to partners and ask them for, I didn't have to ask them for more money, you know, 12 months down the road and increase your guys' fees for us to be able to actually grow. So I wanted to keep revenue shares for us just to ensure our growth and expansion and some profit on our side. I did anticipate that the partners were going to bring in most of the partners. So that's why I put the initial limits that I put on, is so that we could be for sure keep the revenue shares that we wanted, because I was anticipating that the partners would bring in most other partners and I wouldn't. But the fact of the matter is that I brought in about 80% of the partners that are in the partnership. So what that means is that there's only about 30% of the revenue shares that are out there distributed to actual partners, and the rest of them are in my possession because I'm the Tier 1 and Tier 2 partner for 80% of the partners. So like you're under Joe, I think, and I think he's under me. So, or maybe you're directly under me. So, you know, that just gave me an extra 45 shares there. So I still do have it open to get new partners. I've just increased the price. So what I was thinking is and I had talked about it before in one of our other inner circle meetings. I'm hoping to be able to fund a couple things through selling additional partnerships. So one thing is a lot of people approach me all the time to be able to white label our softwares. All right. So I get approached all the time, people wanting to white label our softwares. Now, in the software world, if you build a software like Text in Bulk, people are going to pay between $2,000 to $5,000 a month to white label that software because of the type of software that it is. So, and people approach me all the time asking to white label our softwares. Not a super easy process to white label things because there's dependent apps that we have to have. There's like we have a dependent Facebook app, so it's kind of hard to just completely white label it. We've got Zapier applications, so we have to do setup work to go in and actually, if we want to white label something, we have to do a lot of setup work. So I want to bring in, and the dude's going to cost about 3,000 American dollars a month, but that type of dude is the type of dude that you would expect to make $250,000 in the U.S. He's that type of engineer. So I want to bring in they're called system architects, somebody that has 12, 13 years of experience as a system architect, working for a company like IBM, building very huge enterprise level applications, dealing with multi-million-dollar clients. I want to bring in somebody like that on our team. Like I said, that person is going to cost us between $2,000 to $3,000 every single month. So I want to fund that from additional partnerships. Then mine and Ankita's goal, so that you know, one of our goals, what we really want to do is we compete over here with what's called an MNC, a multinational corporation, all right, like IBM, like TCS, like Microsoft. We compete with those people over here. Our young dudes, like the dudes that we bring in out of college, the brightest ones, what ends up happening is we bring them in for like 6 months, 8 months, and we get them to such a high level of being able to be a good engineer, and we bring them within 6 to 8 months, we bring them to what the local market doesn't require for 5 years, because of our training process and because we bring in an American culture, an American working atmosphere, and all the processes that are actually involved in professional software development. And a lot of companies over here, they don't do professional software development. They do really kid level development. So in our training process, we're able to bring these people up so quick that literally the recruiters from these companies, like I literally have Microsoft recruiters that recruit my employees. They'll be calling them all the time, trying to get them, because they know what type of quality engineers that we produce with our training here. So, and then there's I mean, as you can imagine, most engineers that go to college for computer engineering, if they get a degree, if they get a job offer at Google, they're gone. If they get a job offer at Facebook, they're gone. So that's essentially kind of who we're competing with over here. So what we want to do to be able to recruit the best and the brightest in the entire city is we want to create like a restaurant and a bar. So we want to take our like right now we have like 3,000 square feet, 3,500 square feet. We want to increase to about 12,000 square feet, and we want to start like a restaurant and a bar in the front part of our office. So in the front, we'll have our software development firm there, and we want to start like a restaurant and a bar that caters specifically to software engineers. We'll have like, I'll build computers like this that they can get on and play games on. We'll have all sorts of tech stuff. Like the menus will be written in code. We want to create a haven, like literally a relaxation haven for software engineers to go after work and hang out whenever they get off work. So all the guys that are working at Microsoft or working at TCS, at these big multinational companies, whenever they get off of work, they would come to our place to hang out because it's catered specifically to engineers. That way we don't have to do any recruiting, because they'll come in and they'll love the atmosphere. They'll like the atmosphere. They'll see how techy it is there. They'll see our little robots running around. They'll see our electronics lab there. They'll see our Oculus, all the technology that geeks want, that computer engineers want. They'll see all that there, and then they'll realize that, they'll see our menus written in code and shit, and then they'll realize that we have a software engineering firm in that same facility. And that really allows us to do two things. One, it allows us to provide a facility to our current employees where they're not going to leave anywhere. It's like, well, they'll save so much money on food because they'll be able to bring their families to eat there for free. They'll have such a cool place to relax and chill out that they won't want to leave the office. Whenever they're done working, they'll just want to stay all the time, which obviously helps us, because if there's an issue, then they're still here at work because they're sitting in the restaurant, or they're playing pool, or they're on one of the computers playing games. They can just come back to work and fix stuff. So it provides a much higher incentive for them to always stay at our company. It keeps them more loyal or more branded, because they're not going to get that at any other company. And then it also brings in all the top talent. They come to us. We don't have to recruit them. They literally come to us. And then obviously when they come to us, we can just talk to them about what we do as a company, and then we can recruit some of the top minds here. So we want to create something like that sometime next year. So I'd like to be able to get the funds to do that from additional partnerships as well. So my plan was I was going to let maybe like 10 more Inner Circle members in at the price that we have right now. And then I was going to just double the price. And if anybody wants to pay the higher price, like I said, we do have plenty of revenue shares, because like I said, I still have like 70% of all the revenue shares in my name, because I brought in most of the partners. And I don't mind giving them up myself, because I don't personally need them myself. I mean, I've got money, and this will be successful regardless. And I'm like, my end goal is not to stuff my own money in my own pockets full of money. It's to create a huge empire, so, and a legacy. That's my end goal. And then I've also.
I love your concept of creating a culture. I see exactly what you mean. You expose, I mean, in the environment you're in, I imagine that's the bulk of your professional network, and creating a social hub that showcases technology and your products. I mean, that would be very exciting.
For sure, and it will help with our ads too. Like when we run a Facebook ad, like if you imagine when we run a Facebook ad about our products, about our software products, and we just walk through our office showing our office, everybody will get to understand just by watching that video that this is a tech company. Yeah. These guys are uber geeks, so whatever they create is going to be good. We can tell, like that's why I build the computers that I build, is so that whenever I do lives, people understand these guys are geeks. These guys are computer people. They're tech people. So we can trust in them for technology because we can tell just by looking around their office, that's what they do. So for sure, we want to build.
You're passionate just by your, you know, your leisure time.
Yeah, sure. You know, the average Google employee, when an employee first joins Google, the average employee stays there for 2 to 3 months. They clock in and they don't leave for 2 to 3 months because they have everything that they need. Like literally, we want to bring, that's why we want a bigger office. We want to bring in a massage person, 2 full-time massage people on staff. And whenever our employees go on a 30-minute break, they just go get a full body massage. Because whenever you start to provide facilities like this for your employees, like,
we never feel like leaving.
And you don't want to provide them cash. Like, I don't want to provide the employees cash because they can save that money up. And after they save that money up, they can go do their own thing. Right? So you don't want to overcompensate them with cash because then they get personal savings and they become less dependent on their job.
But
you want to provide them with
facilities.
Yeah.
Correct. You don't have to pay for a massage.
What other things jazz people like? I mean, are there family-ish? Like, is there daycare? Is that a thing? Like, what other things jazz?
So for sure, daycare. For sure, daycare. A lot of we try to target non-family people, anyways. We try to target unmarried people. We try to target people that have kids because it's just they got like a kid life and they got to leave and go back to their kids and stuff. But car facility. Like to be able to pick them up and drop them off so that they don't have to take public transportation. They can, you know, literally get picked up and dropped off. That saves them a lot of money. That saves them money. The food facility. We'd love to do lodging. Like I'd love, especially for our younger bachelor dudes, just to have beds for them to sleep in the office and do lodging, because Google does the exact same thing. Because then at that point, if we put like we've got our projectors here and we do movie nights and stuff here, and we just torrent down the shit that's in the theaters. We just torrent it down so they don't have to go to the movies. But creating a culture like that is really what creates that loyalty of your employee, where we can demand, like if I double their salary, but instead of actually doubling their salary, I just double the monetary benefits that they get. You know, they can bring their girlfriend, or they can bring their family, or they can bring, like we were talking about, if we created a restaurant, it would be like a country club, like a membership. You would have to pay a monthly membership to get there. So it's exclusive. You can't just come. You have to be a member. And then so now our employees, they can bring their friends, their other engineering friends, and it not cost them any money at all. The same thing, it would cost them $100. It would cost them, 15% of their salary to go out on the town and do it. And it all adds to the monetary value without putting the money in their pocket, which is what you don't want.
Well, and in this case, you can give them something that money can't buy by giving it making it exclusive. And that, I think it's brilliant.
I want to move there. I want to come now.
The hardest part of the equation.
Come on, James. We'll and really, to be honest, I would love to be able to work out some way to sponsor partners to come over for like a week or 2 weeks at a time, because just that alone, like you guys would be surprised, just like my HR can get on the phone and she can call people all day long and they'll say, hey, I'm not looking for a job. I'm not looking for a job. She can give me that same list, and I pick up the phone and call those dudes, and they'll instantly come interview because they hear some white guy, they hear some foreign guy, and there's not a lot of exposure to that. So just being able to have an influx of Western people, first world people coming in and out of the company that will attract people because they don't get to see foreigners. They don't get to interact with foreigners. They damn sure don't get to leave the country. So for them just to be able to meet a white guy or a white girl, that's like literally I'll go to the train station. I even live stream it sometimes. I'll go to the train station and I'm like, on my way in, I'll get 50 people just come take a selfie with me. Like I'm fucking famous or something because it's not something they're exposed to a lot.
It's over. I'm moving to India now.
God, man, it's cheap. But then
I know you got the right mindset. Hey, I like what you were saying a minute ago too about the restaurant and the continuity. Amazon and they're one of the largest businesses they are the largest business in the world, and they make $9 billion before you even use their product. Before they ship out a package, before you stream a video, anything, just because of Amazon Prime, $10 a month. Same with like Sam's Club and stuff like that. So to have like a country club where you pay like your dues, having a continuity, you have so much that you can build off of, and then so much upsell. Like it gives you so much potential. It's a brilliant idea. And like you said, Google has used these models in their business where people just don't want to go home. I want to come up there now.
For sure. And that's what we're trying to create. We want to create an atmosphere where we don't have to, like it's been a big burden for me because I invest so much time training these guys up. I bring them out of college and I invest so much time training them up, getting them to a level of engineering that can compete with the US guy. And then my bigger competitor just wants to come eat them up. And they can do that because they have the bankroll and they're this branded company. But if we turn around and we create this culture like this, where they just don't want to leave, I don't have to worry about my competitors coming and grabbing up my people. They have to worry about us. They have to worry about their people leaving us because those people, they're unhappy at their job. They work this corporate 9-to-5 job and they're not happy there. The only thing that they're happy about is they have this brand name company. So we can easily compete with that by actually creating a culture, like just having this stuff in my office, like just having electronics that these guys can actually work on and play with. They all have the passion to do that, but they don't have the opportunity anywhere. So just creating an environment like that attracts them and makes them want to stay here and not leave.
Totally. And there's so much advancing tech right now too. And somebody said the other day, man, and it's so true. You're like a modern day Tony Stark. You truly are. Like, man, like everything you got going on, dude, it truly is brilliant. When people say that, man, they toot their own horn. Typically, it's not the fact, man, but you've strategically put this together, man. It's a brilliant machine, dude. I've been quietly watching, and dude, you're more of a marketer than you think you are. You truly are.
I'm a lot more of a software engineer than I am a marketer, for sure.
Hey, well, whatever, buddy. I'm a marketer, and that's what I love, and I love software engineering.
Well, if you're more of a software engineer than you are a marketer, I think we're all very encouraged right now.
I'm a much better software engineer for sure than I am at marketing. That's where my passions lie at. So,
well, you have a smart way of marketing anyways by having other people do it. You got a lot of high level people in the inner circle, man, and having the higher level do your marketing for you, outsourcing that part of it is truly brilliant, man. So you don't have to focus on that. You can focus on the strategic things that you're great at.
That's what it's about. That's what we want to do. So yeah, we've got a lot of great plans coming up. That's why I left the partnership open. Plus, some people have dropped out, so there's still spots if you guys want to bring people in. It's just at a higher price. So still, I think even at the higher price, I think it's totally worth it. I've got 6 people in at the higher price already at the $500 level. I think that even at $1,000, it's still worth it because especially to somebody who knows how to sell software, especially to a good marketer, because their immediate income potential is literally whatever they want it to be. So there's no holds on that.
I'm just curious, John, mate.
The price of the new membership, but I do have a buddy who is not interested in selling software. He'd be interested just to be in and hold. He makes his money elsewhere, but he works for a living. He's a tile guy. But I was just curious if there's any of the $300 a month shares left floating around. I know people have been dropping. I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah, just if one of the people underneath you drop out. If one of the people underneath you drop out.
I didn't recruit any people. I just came in, but I know other people have stuff floating around. So I just didn't know if there was an opportunity for him or if it was definitely up to the 500 for him.
I mean, we could bring in somebody else at the 300. I would just prefer it at the 500 because it just creates more revenue for us where we can do more. I mean, it just creates a system where we can actually do more. So,
and I'm not trying to work it. He's a close friend. And like I say, he's not in it to make money. He'd be investing for the long haul, hoping for return someday, you know? So an easier sell for him. And again, a personal friend. I'm not marketing. I'm just looking to see what his deal might be. Cause he's kind of looking over my shoulder right now. Like, what are you doing? You know?
I think it attracts the more serious when you bring them at the 500 level. You know, it provides more exclusivity. You know, you're going to get the people you want in there at 500.
Well, to be honest, Christian, I even after raising the prices, I let a couple people in at the $300 level, but those people that I let in at the $300 level, they made a commitment up front that they were going to do something, not that they were going to just give $300 a month, that they were actually going to contribute as a partner. What's up, Shelly? And that's what I would prefer, Christian. I see. We don't need the $300 as much as we need partners that are active and that are actually helping. That's what we need a lot more. So the couple other people that I actually did let in at that lower price, they made a commitment up front that, hey, we're going to be active and we're going to bring something to the table outside of just a $300 a month.
Cool. That makes perfect sense. All right. Thank you.
And that's what we need, really. That's really what we need for us to grow as fast as we want to grow.
Yeah.
We need people like Shelly.
Hello. I'm just happy to be here. We just finished I did a couple hours on ambassador training. I did a couple hours on certified training. Just got disconnected and jumped in here. So ready to go.
Glad to see you finally, Shelly.
I know. It's been crazy. And we're leaving tomorrow to go on our vacation. We're going to New Orleans for a week. So
you've just been traveling all over the place.
Yeah, we've been to Italy, Germany, Brazil. I did my own event in Memphis, and now we're going to New Orleans. And then in the first of the year, we'll be going to France and the UK, Germany and Italy again, Singapore, possibly Tokyo, and back down to Brazil, and maybe Colombia.
She's the real leader of Diva.
Yes, that's right.
Exactly.
It is one of my goals to travel. So I've done a lot of traveling just in the last 6 months. Actually, not even 6 months. It's been about 4 months. So and a lot of traveling to go, and I've just had an absolute blast. And I'm starting. I need to get my API thing set up because I had everything set up and working to where they signed up on my sign up form, and it sent them into my mailing box and then sent them into all of the different softwares. And then they got an email back telling them their link where the login area was, and it gave them their user ID and their password. But I think it's not working now, and I need help just with that one thing.
Well,
to make sure
it's all the same, Shelly. All you're gonna do is that webhooks part, right? You had the webhooks where you were hitting our old API. You're just gonna make a very small modification to that. You're just gonna change the URL, and you're going to add before you had token and email. You're gonna add 2 more parameters. You're gonna add product and secret key, and that's it.
Secret key.
Everything else is the same. The secret key you'll set. The secret key you'll set inside. Let me see if I have one. I can just show you.
I got the secret key. I set it. Mine's funny. My secret key is funny.
But other than that, it's really the same. It's pretty much exactly the same.
Okay, so I think I got it set up right. I'll test it again and see if it's just me being a ding-a-ling that I'm not getting it. But I do have all 4 of those parameters, and I got the new URL. So it should work. It was working, but it stopped on the 13th. I had signups all the way up to the 12th, and then on the 13th, which was yesterday, it stopped.
This is it. This is the same thing. You just replace your webhook with this. You just use that API route to add a user. So you're used to the token and the email, all right? your token's going to change. You had a different token before. Now you're just going to use your affiliate ID as a token, put in your secret key, and then just tell us what product that you want. If you want to do all products, just put in all. If not, put in the individual product.
That may be it then, is the affiliate ID, because I had the like 19.
No, you need to use, your token is literally your affiliate ID. If you log into the affiliate dashboard, right next to where it says token, it shows your affiliate ID. It's just your affiliate ID that's your token.
That may be the problem then. So let me check that and see if that works, and that probably will resolve the problem. I don't know. I got the token from somewhere. I can't remember where I got it, but I don't think it was my affiliate ID. It was a long number, and I think it started with like 19905 something. And it was working, but I'll try the affiliate ID.
And just also keep in mind that it will not work. It won't add somebody in if they're already added in. So I get a lot of people that will say, you know, hey, I just tried to add this person, it didn't work. And what happens is somebody else has added that person in already. So you can't add somebody to our softwares if they're already in our softwares.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. I think one of the issues was, and correct me if I'm wrong, John, that the actual API key changed from HTTP to now HTTPS.
That's right. So you do need to use the secure version.
Let me check that.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah, because it happened to me as well.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm jumping in there right now, checking that, okay?
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
No worries.
Gotta find my zap. Where'd my zap go? I have too many zaps, you guys. I think I'm gonna have to be called the Zap Diva. Let's if I click the right button.
Lance, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Doing great. Want me to send you
I have one thing I want to bring up. Regarding the community membership pricing, is it, that's the one that we can name our own price, is that right?
And the chat bot, yes.
Okay. And so the lowest tier for community membership is $97 a month?
That's correct. And that's pretty much the only tier. I mean, you can set different prices in the chat bot, but that price only reflects if they go into the chatbot and they purchase it from the chatbot through the invoice link in the chatbot.
Okay.
So
is there something on the schedule to raise that price? And the reason I ask is what I am building out to sell the software. If the community membership is only $97, then setting up the offers how I think it should be structured, it really limits it because the $97 community membership is the most valuable thing that there is. If I'm offering the software, because if RoboContact's $297 a month, like it doesn't make sense that they can get all of them for $97 a month.
Sure, I agree, but the reason that it's priced like that is because we want to attract community members until we get 2,000, 3,000 community members, because we need those people to make sure that we only launch softwares in the market that are actually ready for the market. And like you guys, I can't rely on you guys, even just 100 people. I can't rely if I release a new software, I can't rely that you guys are going to be able to, everything that's on your plate, that you're going to be able to go in and actually test it. The community members, I can. If we got 2,000, 3,000 community members, I can, because I can tell them, look, you go test this software. If you don't test this software, I'm revoking your community membership because it's part of what you sign up for. So it's a really necessary piece of the puzzle to be able to actually, so yeah, I do have a plan to increase it, but that plan to increase it would be once we have enough people in that community where we know once we release a software, within 2 weeks, we can pass it out to those guys, and those guys can validate it and make sure that there's no underlying issues in it, because it's a developer can't do that. A QA guy, especially engineers, engineers have a really hard time pretending to be stupid users. So an engineer has a really hard time trying to figure out how some average person is going to use the software, because their intelligence level, they automatically know, oh, this is a number field, let me not put words in this number field, all right? Users not so much. Users will, like, you'd be surprised the amount of people in text in bulk that have put words in the phone number field. Like where the phone number goes, they put in a word. My engineer will never even think of that. My engineer will never once think, well, let me try to put a word in here, because he uses his brain a little bit. So they're really necessary it is really necessary to have those people for sure.
Okay, so with like the JV Zoo launch that you're doing, are you only launching text in bulk? Is that?
No, we're launching domain leads.
And how much? What will the price point be on that?
What price point is on it? I'm not really sure because I'm not managing it. It's Dennis and it's Dennis and Kevin that are managing it. I don't really care because the goal is not to make money.
The goal is to
yeah, the goal is just literally to get as many customers as we can from that launch, so that we can then begin to actually market to them to other stuff to make revenue from. It's kind of like a pilot. So the goal isn't really to make any money at all. We'll end up giving like 70% commission to the JV Zoo affiliates there, just to get them to push this stuff out, because like I said, all we're wanting to do is acquire a customer base there.
Well, and dude, everybody does this too. Like ClickFunnels did this. I sat on a webinar just like this 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago with Russell when he was doing ClickFunnels for $47 a month. And the people that got in then were grandfathered in. And it was long before ActionEdX and Backpack. And then ActionEdX and Backpack came out, and he did that for $97 a month with ClickFunnels if you kept it. And there's still people that pay $97 a month for the Edison suite. So it's the same thing that we're doing here. It's just adding reciprocity. It's a hook, story, offer. So it's like it's how Russell built a tribe. It's how everybody does it. I think it's a brilliant offer, and the price point shouldn't matter to anybody right now. The amount that people make off of it, we had to sell it at $297. It's a steal. Agencies that use this kind of stuff pay a lot more to VAs and outsourcing this stuff to people like John and his team, or people like John and his team. So this is like, it really gives the power to them. So the price is definitely going to go up, but like so did ClickFunnels. And now look what they've done.
Here's what we could do, Lance, because I see that you're concerned about the price point and the fact that
I was just trying to understand it so that it's not, I'm not shooting myself in the foot where I have offers where the top price point is $197, but I could downsell a one-time offer or whatever to a $97. That's way more valuable than anything that I offer. I was just trying to figure out how to do it this.
Well, what I could do is I could remove the invoices for the community membership inside the chatbot, so that you can't purchase a community membership from the chatbot, that you physically have to go to the community website to purchase it. Now, in that community website, there's an application process where it tells you right on that application process that we don't accept everybody, all right? So we could use that as a screening function where somebody comes in, they have to fill out the application, they have to make the payment, and then we let them know that that they may not be accepted into our community, and then we could cross-check to see, okay, hey, do you guys have clients with this email address that are paying you some rate that you don't want to lose? That would just be I would just have to figure out how to run the logistics on that, and how to actually automate the logistics of double verifying and all that.
Right. Yeah, and I don't want to overcomplicate it, so I'm probably overthinking it, but I'm just working on building up some offers for it, and that stuck out. I understand the reasoning. I'm just trying to make sure I'm setting myself up right.
For sure, like I said, we do have plans to raise it. I've already raised the price 3 times. It started out at $10, and I got people in there right now that are paying $10, and then I raised it to 17, and then I raised it to 25, and then I said, fuck it, I'm going all in. I'm going to 97.
And can community members, once somebody's a community member, can they resell the community membership as an affiliate?
Yeah, so the community members can promote the community membership as an affiliate. They just get they get 41%. That's the other main function of the community. So the community kind of works for two functions. It's two pieces of the puzzle for us. It's beta testing, where they go in and actually test our software, make sure it's actually ready for the market, make sure it's usable. They go in and allow us to, they help us create all the training material. They help us gather all the FAQs. They help us put together all the knowledge base for support, because we release it to them, and then they come ask us a million fucking questions about stuff so that we can actually build up all the material, so that whenever we do release it to the market and we actually start bringing users in, we already have all the training, we have all the knowledge base, we have all the frequently asked questions, so it kind of streamlines support. And then there are sales and distribution. That's who we really rely on for sales and distribution, because there are a team of affiliates that's meant out there. So, and again, those guys are, the whole model is those guys are going to acquire us users, and then we're going to cross sell to those users and kind of cut out the affiliates. I don't want affiliates very long, so I
totally get that. So even just offering one of the softwares at $297, there's no reason to even offer that if the $97 community membership gives it to you and more.
Yes and no. I mean, I can't really say that, Lance, because I got people right now paying me $297 for RoboContact. I got people right now paying me $297 for text and bulk.
Is that because they don't know about the community offer? Because that's not something that's easily found unless it's offered by us? Is that?
I can't.
I'm probably overthinking it, but that's just
I can't really tell you. I can't. Lance, I got people who come to my $1 a day offer, and it says get all this software, unlimited access to all this software for $30 a month. And then they click on one of the softwares and go buy it for $97 a month, just that one software. So I can't really say why they do it. I don't know.
I appreciate what Lance is saying, because I'm that guy that'll shop for my shit, you know? If you were to go shop, you're going to find 8 different scenarios, and the potential is to have 100 different scenarios. But I appreciate what you're saying, John. I think that it kind of doesn't matter. Like, we've been struggling because we're setting up our first funnels and getting things situated over here, and and I'm seeing everybody's offer, and it's like, I don't want to give it away for $37 for the whole bundle. Like, no, that's not going to be our site. Well, so we're trying to settle on pricing and but my biggest thing is, I think the hardest thing is going to be getting people engaged and set up. Like, I think that our offer anyway is going to incorporate, it's going to be a little higher dollar, but it's going to incorporate some one-on-one time to really suck these people in and make sure that they have the tools set up for them. And, it's the puppy theory. You give them the puppy, and they need to know how to feed it, and
sure,
they're going to give it back.
You'll make a lot more money that way. Like, you can make you can sell the software for $1, and then go on the backside and charge $1,000 a month to run their email campaigns and run their lead generation searches, and set up all their campaigns inside Text and Bulk, and actually set up their IVRs, because those fucking people don't want to do it. And even if they did want to do it, they don't know how to do it.
They just want the benefit. Yeah. And they'll pay for it because they make money from that benefit. And those are the people that are really going to engage as the end user. I mean, these aren't the people that are going to beta test for you, of course.
For sure.
But they're going to pull out the bugs. They're the ones who are going to really put it through its paces. But it has to be set up for them. These aren't people that are going to sit up all night figuring it,
And I think that's the other distinguishing factor, Lance, and I'll just go at it on the community page and make it more transparent, that they agree to be beta testers, and they will spend X amount of time beta testing our software. That's why they get it at such a low price. Now, your other people who are willing to pay the higher price, when they come to the community page and they see, oh, I got to be a beta tester, I got to test this new software when it comes out, or I'm going to lose my membership, fuck that. I'll just pay a higher price because I don't want to do that. I can't commit to it. And I'll just make that more transparent on the community page, that they agree to that, and that is one of the conditions of them getting in on that price, is they are a beta tester, and we're going to dish them off softwares, and it's their responsibility to go log in and test it out, and we'll check the logs, and if they don't do that, they'll lose their community membership, because that's why we let them in the community. That's what they're for. I think that will solve a lot of your problems, because the people who are going to pay you that higher price, they're not going to want to commit to beta testing. They're not going to be, because that's out of their league. I'm not a beta tester. Fuck that. I'm not going to do that.
That does differentiate it. And because my concern was, if I'm getting people at whatever $300 to $500 a month in my funnel, and then they can turn around and get $100 a month and get everything, and then future software as well, I would look like a price gouging asshole. But I guess the beta testing was the distinguishing difference.
Well, that is their goal. That is what they're supposed to do. Is they're supposed to beta test for us. So that's the whole reason that they're there.
You know, that helps me, because I can incorporate that. That one thing right there puts me at ease.
But your other option, Lance, is give an hour of your time. So you get an hour of my time every month. My time is worth fucking $350 an hour or $400 an hour, and you'll get an hour of it. And trust me, most of those people won't use it. You'd be surprised. I got 50 people that ordered that paid $100 for a 1 hour coaching session with me. I've sent them 15 emails and they never take advantage of it. So it's like, they'll buy it. If you're like, okay, you get 1 hour a month of my time, that's great, and they'll never use it, you know?
I checked my form. I just checked my form, checked everything. I had everything in there correctly, and I checked my form and everything's working correctly. So I'm not sure why somebody didn't get in, but they might have gone in to get the free version from somebody else, and maybe maybe that's the reason they're not showing up under me. So I'm cool. Everything's working.
Cool.
What's up, Gavin?
What up? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. 21 again, right?
Hey, actually, you know what? It's funny. They said that we were going back 24 years from the portfolio the other day, and that's what I feel like. 48. Don't look it or act it, so be ready. Hey, John, did you get my message about doing the Tier 5 channel on Roku and Fire Stick? Because I do now have rights, licenses, and authorizations to go ahead and get that going.
Oh. It was probably delivered. It was probably delivered to me, sure, but I probably didn't read it, man.
Oh man, I figured that. I'll just wait till Friday in our meeting.
Yeah, just let's talk about it now.
Okay.
Actually,
yeah.
that's
So
my
anyway,
channel.
I had a really good week. I got some major contacts. As a matter of fact, got with Craig, and I wanted to get both of them to you. Actually, get them on our one of our Friday training sessions or speakers. Both these guys are multi-millionaires, and I learned how to do the ultimate funnel this week as well. And then I went ahead and got the rights to make our own channel. And I bought, of course, I got the whole unlimited deal, so we can have as many channels as we want. They said we can start with 3. So I figured right away, Tier 5, make it all Tier 5, and then eventually down the road, we can make it a pay channel. So we can go live at any time as well on there. And I figured between all the videos you got on YouTube, I can cross-link over already with your permission. And then once we start getting commercials run on there, we make money instantly. And then, of course, I got programs now that know how to make commercials. So I was going to my thing for you, like a commercial. What's that?
Anything I put on YouTube is open to the public. If it's on YouTube, you do whatever you want with it.
But I don't know, bro. You're my mentor, though, and I want your permission from you one-on-one. You know, I don't.
You can edit it, lipstick on me and a bow tie on me. I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's the first video. Let's take it on the tie.
Monkey humping the head. Monkey humping the head.
Now, for the most part, you guys can do whatever you think it provides value, as long as it doesn't have to involve a whole bunch of my time, because I'm going to have my hands busy building software for us. So I think it's a great idea. If you want to take it on and do it, then yeah, sure, yeah, let's do it.
All right, be ready. I'll go ahead and get that set up then this week. That's going to be my #1 top priority, because the analytics show 58 million viewers a week alone, and just test dropping a couple channels that they did, that they got instant like 14,000 just downloads instantly. Roku's #1 in the world and the United States right now, and then we're picking up Fire Stick starting in February.
Dude.
So that's 2/3 of the conglomeration, because nobody even has cable anymore. Everybody's Apple,
Right.
Roku, Fire Stick. You know, we'll never get Apple. You know, they ain't gonna let you have that. But
I did a Roku channel, and I have training on how to build mobile apps, and that thing has just absolutely exploded. And yeah, I learned how to do it from just watching a course on Udemy. That was how I learned. And, so
Udemy, yes, I love Udemy.
yeah, I built the channel, and it's been incredible. And yeah, it was really, really fun.
Well, I mean, anybody else who wants to get on board here in the inner circle, I mean, I got the unlimited rights version, so we can do as many as we want. Anybody, I'm willing to share with you if you share with me. So
I want to be involved.
I think it'll be huge once we can charge for it. It'll be huge. You know, you pay $3.99 a month and get subscribers. You can't go wrong.
I'm down to make guest appearances. I don't have a problem making guest appearances.
All right, perfect. Yeah, and I got some people that I want to hook together this well too that actually run this thing.
Training. So whatever you need as far as training, I'm the training
Sounds
queen.
good, Shelly. Let me add you now on Facebook then, so we'll start like a little separate training circle then.
Awesome.
I would super appreciate an invitation to that. I'd only be learning. I have nothing to contribute, but that sounds amazing.
Scratch each other's backs and we all learn.
I refuse to believe that you do not have anything to contribute. I refuse it. And I refuse.
Yeah, totally.
There's something you've got, I'm sure of it, that once we start, really looking at it and boiling it down, you're going to have something in there that we're going to go, oh my God, Chris, we need that.
Well, thank you for that confidence.
And you got thumbs and fingers. I mean, if you got thumbs and fingers, literally, I've got people I put in my software for free just so that they tag me and just so that they comment on my stuff and like my stuff and share my stuff, because social proof is so I call it social credits. I give stuff for people. What do I owe you, John? Social credits. You owe me social credits. What does that mean? That means that you got to do shit for me on social media, because that's how you build an audience and that's how you make money. So just showing up to somebody's live video, like literally, how do you think I got Catlin to join and how I got Spencer to join and how I got Rachel to join? Just all social credits. That's how Kevin Likas joined, all of it. They joined their social credits. I just went in, like those dudes never helped me with anything whatsoever, really, to be honest, but I just tagged them all the time. I would go in, wow, Callan just did this for me. This dude just did that for me. I'd show up to their lives and just comment on them and just make a lot of social credits. And they would, who the fuck is this dude? Always tagging me and stuff. And then I finally said, hey, you guys need to buy my stuff now, man. I'm gonna stop tagging you all the time. Quit tagging you guys.
And he says he's not a marketer.
The best damn non-marketer.
Actually, when I started building with Builderall, I didn't have really a network to build from. So I just took some of the most basic skills that you need for PC. I've got crazy good skills, and I could have jumped off the deep end and went deep, keep teaching something really complicated. But the reality was I saw there was a huge gap in some more simple stuff. So I would go into some of these groups and do just like a simple video on how to use Control-C and Control-V. I thought, nobody's going to like this video. It's stupid, Shelly. Nobody's going to want to see this. And so I was like, nope, I know people do this. So I taught them how to use Control-C and Control-V and Control-A. And then at the end of it, I said, if you like this video, just private message me, and I'll give you more resources on cool things you can use for your business. And then, of course, I shared Builderall with them. But I got so much response from that video that I was stunned. I was absolutely stunned. They were like, we didn't even know that you could do that. So then I did a video on how to save things to your bookmark toolbar so that you can just click it and go back to that place where you really, really liked. And then I showed them how to create folders and put the items in the folders so they could start organizing them. And then I did another video on how to do a side-by-side window on a PC. So you could actually be working in one window and see the other window. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So these are all basic things, but they made me a lot of money because a lot of people wanted more, and I sent them to Builderall and got them to join Builderall. So I know you got it, Kristen. It's in there.
If you think about it, if you teach somebody how to control C and control V that doesn't know how to do it, and you teach them how to do that, you just that's a huge amount of value, because you just literally, if they spend time on a computer, you save them so much fucking time.
Oh no, I get it. I've been teaching people in a lot of capacities since the 90s. I mean, one of my very first gigs was I lived in Vail, Colorado for 25 years. I used to go to tourist hotel rooms and teach them how to email their grandkids their vacation photographs. For $55 an hour, I had a Yellow Pages ad and a an 800 number that I paid for. I was one of the people that could put up a website with vacation rental photographs. Like, when it used to take weeks to close a deal, I could show you the pictures on the phone, but I had to get somebody in your office to go show you the web page, because the guys who could write the check weren't the guys who could find an internet, at the time. So I try to always put value forward, but I haven't even looked at Roku. I know how valuable video marketing is. Put all the pieces together in this modern day,
Yeah, no doubt.
It's almost overwhelming in spite of the fact I've been doing it forever. But I did local and small business for a long time, and that's kind of my wheelhouse. I like to help small businesses.
That's your strength right there. That right there is your strength, because you have so much knowledge. You can look back reflectively, and you can add to people coming in. You have so much to build on. Like that, I think that's your strength. You're a teacher.
Well, thank you. Well, I'm just learning right now. I mean, this is all such good stuff, and I appreciate being here. Thank y'all.
Some days you teach, some days you learn, right?
For sure.
Yeah, hey Kevin. Though I'm gonna reach out and connect, man. I'm totally down. My brain's been stewing ever since you've been talking about it. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around some possibilities. But yeah, we'll definitely connect, man. I'm trying to get down into the video marketing area too. I'm actually gonna start doing more YouTube stuff and start doing trainings, kind of like what Shelly just said, because I've been on the back end of a lot of projects that did that. And it's like, it's so ridiculous how easy it is to start being an influencer. And like Shelly said, the basics, the fundamentals, I was actually in a coaching call with one of my mentors, one of my other mentors besides John here, where they even talked about that, like Mr. Miyagi and some of the best coaches throughout all time, they're known for teaching fundamentals. So those little fundamentals is groundbreaking to people, because you can unlock, insane amounts of talent. And back end, they're like, hey, what kind of systems are you using? Builderall, whatever you're using, ClickFunnels, Tier 5. I mean, anything that you're doing, man. And if you just help people, it's like you're making money on the back end. You're providing so much reciprocity. You're making money in the shadows. And that's the best place to make money, to me.
Exactly. I mean, that's the main reason I came to Tier 5. It is all about helping people, and that's what I loved about John and like his videos where he goes out on the streets and buys people ice cream. It's not about keeping the money, like you said earlier. I think in an email you sent out about the Lamborghinis and stuff. We don't want that. We want to create places for people to come together and help each other. That's why my company is called Circle 22. Just keep it a big circle and help each other, and just try to create a world for everybody, where everybody can get along and money isn't the issue.
Mm-hmm. And there's room enough for everybody. That's the other thing, is if you're talking about Lamborghinis and Ferraris and all that, you're talking about big money, and then people are worried there's not enough room. I've got to fight the big boys. It's not worth it. But if we're talking about helping each other, there's room for everybody. Everybody has a place. Then all of a sudden it becomes real and you can do it.
No, the abundance mindset. I mean, there's no exclusivity here. It's abundance. There's room for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we all have a special skill set too. So like I take the opposite. I'm the marketer, not the engineer. It's hard for me to understand these programs. I've been in 2.5 months now, John, and I still don't even have mine set up yet, because my mind's always on marketing and learning and how to get this out there and trying to sell it. But I can't get these programs set up myself. And I watch the videos and I go ADD style.
John said it earlier best, man. Actually, he revealed an amazing strategy. So you're a marketer, man. The best way to do this is to white label this kind of, and you know, you're a marketer, so handle do it like a 10-80-10, where you handle the 10% of somebody, get some VAs that understand the software and have them do all the automation for you, and then close the deals. You're the marketer, you know, you're lead gen, you can close deals, you can reach out to people, you can talk to people, convince people. Just learn enough of it, man, and outsource stuff, dude, and kind of make your own white label service, dude, and just go to lots of places. Go to like agencies, man. They're always looking for closers. They're always looking for a marketer that has an automation system of their own that's turnkey.
Yeah, I got Full Sail here in Orlando, which is a huge corporation. That's what my neighbor told me. You need to go in there. I used Kim's example of doing the VAs for Fiverr and stuff to help get the website set up and stuff like that. I haven't really found a VA for putting programs together. I put an ad up on LinkedIn and I put an ad up on my page as well. That's exactly what I need. Yeah.
Upwork's good.
It's all
Just
about
like,
network.
well, when you run Upwork, man, just make sure people are versed with like Zapier, and that they have good typing and communication skills, like they've done like data entry, so that way when they're doing these things, you know everything's spelt right, and they can just like connect everything for you. You said that this is the hard part. I mean, that's what I would do. I mean, don't even worry about the technical aspect of it.
Well, if you want VAs to help you with Tier 5 software, and you want to make a commitment on them, then I don't mind bringing in somebody. I got one that works for Bobby. I don't mind bringing somebody in and training them, obviously, on our softwares and to do whatever you need to do.
I was just going to suggest we keep it in-house. I mean, I struggle a little bit myself and would love to.
I don't have a problem with that. I would just need, I would need some type of commitment, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to bring in people and then be in a constant flux of bringing in people, letting them go, bringing in people, letting them go. Because it's a bad impression.
So John, quick question, because man, I messaged you a while back about this, and I'm totally interested in that. So what would a Tier 5 VA look like to our Inner Circle subscription? I would like to add that. Like, and you want a commitment? Yeah. I'm willing to hammer it out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm Tier 5 for life. So I just want a VA now.
Me too.
It depends on what all you want them to do, what things that you want them to do.
Sure.
It would be around, I would say, between $400 to $700, depending on what you want to do. All right.
Yeah.
For $700, and the $700, I would just get you two. Like if you needed a VA that could do Zapier automations and could actually do more technical stuff and help you with tech stuff, that person, I'm not going to be able to get to answer your emails and do arbitrary non-technical stuff, because they don't have the desire to do that. So I'm going to have to put two people in your hands. I'm going to have to put somebody to do like general support and answering emails and stuff like that, and then somebody on the tech side, because they won't, the email person just won't be able to do the tech side very well.
You know,
I have a question. Sorry. Go ahead, James.
Go ahead. No, Shelly, please, after you.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a question. There's some automation that I want done with Builderall, and I'm having a heck of a time just getting the time to go through and do it myself. And I would love to have a VA. So like every day for the domain leads thing, I want to run domain leads and then run them into, I can do 100. I think I can do 1,000. I can do 1,000 a day into Mailing Boss, and then trigger my autoresponder. So I want to get them into Mailing Boss and start triggering my autoresponder and that my email sequence. And so I would love to have somebody to run that every day and trigger it to go to Mailing Boss. And then there's a couple of other little things that are not like extremely technical. They're just time that I don't have to sit and do it, because I've got to shoot training videos and be on meetings, stuff like that. So
sure, the repetitive stuff.
I can bring those people in. I can bring them in and train them up. But like I said, I would require some type of a commitment from you guys, that it's not going to be like a 1 month thing, and then you're going to be, you know, I'll put my time in it and train them up and make sure that they're efficient and stuff. I don't want to get into that since it's not our core competency. I don't want to bring people in and funnel them out, because then everybody else here is going to be like, hey, it's going to be harder to acquire employees, because they're not going to feel secure in their position, if we're just bringing people in and letting them go. But I don't have any problem. Shelly, we talked about that before. I don't have any problem doing that. Bobby, I gave Bobby my assistant to let, because he won't fucking, it's either let him, I didn't give it to him, I sold her to him, but it's either she got to do his shit, or he's just going to be messaging my chat bot all day long asking why I'm not fucking answering him.
Hey, well, John, do you think that, so here's a thought though. So this is something like, just off this call, we've had quite a response. Not even everybody from the inner circle's in here. I'm sure this is a large need for everybody. So question would be is like, even on one of my last calls, we were talking about, I'm with James Smiley and I'm in his consulting, and I'm with Kevin Harrington, their consulting academy. One of the things they were talking about is like one of the largest, new fads is starting a VA agency. So, and I'm not saying like starting your own VA agency, but wouldn't it be nice to have like a team of your own VAs that no matter what, even if somebody did drop on for a month or two, you've got them in house, and then you can always utilize it yourself or every inner circle member for an upsell. And I know that I would commit to it.
I was just going to ask that too, James. Honestly, if I could get
let's do it.
Here's what I was thinking, guys, because I've got a lot of people in my downline in BuildRaw, a lot of people. And if I had a VA that could run domain leads, just domain leads, and run the 50 leads for the free account for each of my people every day and run it to their mailing boss, there's a good fee that I could charge for that. And if I had the person to do that, it wouldn't take them long for each person, do it each day, and I could charge a pretty penny. And I'm not only
and on our side, right, you can white label
and giving them the emails and putting it in mailing boss. So that's a pretty penny that I could charge. And then if they're not a part of my team, maybe charge a higher fee if they're not a part of my team to do that for them. So that is a possibility. And my brain is thinking really, really hard about that, because I think it'd be a valuable service that I could provide to members of BuildRaw.
Well, yeah, and see, like Shelly, like people like us, we can white label it. We can white label those services.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a bunch of clients, that they're older and they don't know how to do these programs, but they're paying out the leg. Like my one buddy, he owns a company down by Disney. He pays $8,000 a month just for leads. And when I showed him what we could do, he's like, "This is amazing. I'll pay you $25,000 a month if you can get me these timeshare close deals, and they come with that rating." It was a site that Dennis showed me, .io something. I'd have to pull it up in my notes. You put the email in, and you get everything about them. So it breaks down to different leads, and it categorizes them with a lead score. If you got a lead score of over 250, those are worth money.
Probably,
but yeah.
I would say it's Tower Data. We've got a planned integration with them, because they tell you, Tower Data will tell you, are they parents? Do they have children? Do they own their house? Do they rent their house? What's their annual income? What's their education level? Are they white collar? Are they blue collar? Consumer expenditure trends, what are they interested in buying? What have they bought over the last 12 months? All sorts of shit Tower Data will tell you. But it's like 25 to 50 cents per person that you validate. So you pass in an email address and it's 25 cents, and they give you back the data. But if you're smart marketing, it's really worth it, because then you can zero in on who you're actually going after. Especially now, if you're doing low ticket shit, it don't make sense. But if you're doing high ticket stuff, then if you're doing a high ticket thing where your courting process, like me, whenever I do software sales, my highest ticket sales, for me to close $1 million contract, so over 120 hours worth of courting that I did there. Like literally, I spent 120 hours worth of my time before I saw anything come from that. I don't want to court somebody like that if I can't look and see, okay, this dude makes $1 million a year. I need extra data for me to justify my courting process. So if you're doing something like that, it's really useful. So I can put it together, because what I've been wanting to do, what I've been thinking about myself, is I need some people that can do it for me, because what I've been thinking about, and maybe you can tell me what you think about it, is I've been thinking about extending domain leads out to another paid service, where what we would do is when we pull in the leads every single day, we'll contact them and we'll give them 2 options for monetization. We'll give them the option where they can pay a fee and be removed from our database so other people can't contact them, or we'll give them the option where they can pay a fee and they can become a premium lead. All right, so the domain leads people, they can purchase premium leads, and the premium leads will be essentially, I'll contact somebody who just bought a domain, they'll pay a premium lead fee, we'll give them a little dashboard, they can put what services that they're interested in, and they can make like a little video, and then they can set the price that they want people to pay to unlock them. And that person becomes a premium lead, and then anybody that unlocks them, and let's say they say it's $10 to unlock me as a premium lead, they make a little video, I'm interested in SEO and I'm interested in web development. They put that in their profile. The domain leads people can see this is a premium lead. They can see the services they're interested in. They can watch their little video. And then every time they go to get unlocked, it's $10. We'll keep like 10% of that. And then the premium lead gets the rest of it. So they can actually monetize the selling of their own data. And to do that, I need a team of people who can go out and contact those people every day and be like, look, it's one fee if you want removed from our database. It's another fee if you want to be a premium lead. If not, then fuck you. We're selling your data, and there really isn't anything you can do to stop us because it's public data.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
What was the name of that site or company that gives you that extra information?
It's called Tower Data.
Tower with a P?
No, tower, like a big tower. We've got a plan to do that integration in RoboContact and Text and Vault to allow you to put in your Tower Data API keys, and then anybody who you want to fetch additional information from, you'll be able to go and fetch that additional information and then be able to filter your messages based on whether they own a home or how much their annual income is or whether they're a parent or not. It's just an expense. It's not something that the dollar a day people, they're not going to want to spend that shit because it's for real marketers that are wanting to actually make money and sell stuff and zero down on who they're targeting. It's like I get people all the time that talk to me in chat support and RoboContact and ask, how can I increase my limits? I can only send 2,000 emails a day with RoboContact. How can I increase my limits? And those people are not the same type of people that would use this because those people don't have, from my perspective, if you have to send out 2,000 emails a day, you suck. All right. If you send out 2,000 emails a day and you're able to service the amount of clients that you get from those 2,000 emails, you suck and you don't sell anything real fucking valuable and you don't have a good message and you just suck, period. So increasing the amount of emails that you send out is not actually going to help you. That's a disservice. What you should do is you should stop. You should focus on your messaging. You should change your messaging so that sending out 200 emails provides you all the clients that you could possibly service, So it won't be for everybody, but definitely have the plans to integrate that because it's useful to have that. It's very useful to have that type of data for somebody.
Yeah, well, you can target specifics now, and if you are selling leads, which is where a lot of money's at, now you can break it down into segments and get your lead packages together. And I got LinkedIn Premium. You can go right on there and say, hey, I have 1,000 leads for security systems, and then they're rated. They'll come in and they'll scoop those up in a minute. I mean, I worked in education for 15 years as a director for-profit colleges. I'd pay anywhere from $500 to $750 for a lead. So I mean, that's why I got into this. Really, between doing call centers and doing lead sales, it's ultimate. But once I dug in here and met everybody and all these people, John keep bringing in, he's got me going in all these different directions. Now I can't even stay focused because I'm so hungry. But I'm learning and I'm making great connections. Like me and Kim now talk ever since you had Kim on there. She helps me out. Kevin helps out. Everybody in this inner circle, we're helping each other. Now we just got to get to the focus point and then start driving that revenue in so that it's this residual income nonstop. And we can all be over on that side with John and India having to get together.
Sure. Well, I can work on some support people, some VA people. I can have my HR start actually looking for those people and bring in like 4 or 5 people to work kind of a later night shift that can just do general support, general tech stuff, general support stuff, and see how that goes. Like I said, I've been wanting to do it anyways for support on our own software products, to have support on our own software products, and for additional revenue activities that I would like to do myself. So I don't mind doing that.
I got them busy right away. I mean, like I said, I got 6 clients. I got timeshare, I got a chiropractor, I got a guy that trades businesses. I got security systems, and they're all ready to go. But me physically, I just don't have the personal time to go in there and set it up for these guys. So if we have somebody that can go in, sell them the packages, and upgrade for a setup fee, and they're golden.
Well, I've been talking to another one of our inner circle members. His name's Travis Lanyers.
Yeah, I've been talking to him.
You may or may not know him, but he's actually the workhorse behind a lot of the 2CC funnels that come. So he's a really smart guy. He's a developer. He's a great designer, and but most of what he does now is Facebook advertising. He makes a good amount of money doing Facebook advertising, but he has to do all his own work. And what we've been talking about is essentially what you mentioned, James. This VA agency. You see everybody starting a social media marketing agency, like everybody's doing that. But no one's actually no one's outsourcing that. No one's providing a service where you can actually just get the client and have all the real work outsourced to an agency overseas in India, because there's not that type of, you just don't find that type of person over here. You don't find ad experts over here and copy experts over here. You do find tech wizards. So customer support, technical support, everybody.
Sure.
I mean, call anybody, call your bank, call fucking anybody, and call your hospital, and you talking to somebody right next to me, like literally you talking to her brother. If you fucking call text her cousin, if you call tech support, all right? So engineers and tech support, customer support, that's all over here. But so being Travis actually, he's just now about to send his kid off to college, and he said after he sends his kid off to college, he's going to pack up and move over here for 6 months, and that's what a side project that me and him are going to work on in the night shift when all my developers are gone. Like now, we're going to bring in a whole group of people and train them up on doing all the physical work of implementing the ads and running the actual ad campaigns, give them a step-by-step so that the marketer just provide the strategy guide and hand it over there, and then offer Facebook ads and social media marketing as essentially a VA for hire outsourcing to India, because it doesn't exist yet. Because we need that ourselves. We need a team of marketers ourselves to really fucking boost us up where we want to get in the long term.
Yeah, so that's why I've reached out a few times. I'm learning the softwares because that's exactly where I've wanted this conversation to always go. And dude, I definitely want to reach out and be a part of everything we just said, the VA service agency, whatever. And dude, I have done marketing for, billion-dollar industry. I mean, I was doing marketing for Windstar World Casino, and I've done over $16 million in sales just the years I was working there. Now, true, I had all the back-end stuff done for me, so it was an easy sell. But dude, I can help out big time in marketing. That's what caught my attention with you, because to be completely transparent here, like, dude, what I've had in the workings is a white labeling service where I have a VA agency that works with me full time, and I white label that service to the high level marketers. And what I do is I have a team of salesmen right now that close deals. I got 11 salesmen that close deals for the largest newspapers, different media giants and stuff like that, man. And we're currently like running a large revenue right now. So I was like, man, I could use my guys and get them off these low margin sales, and I could start like sinking my teeth into some of these marketers that need, like, I can't even disclose some of the people that I just signed contracts on that I'm going to start after 2019, and I have to get this done. So, dude, I would love to be a part of it, because either way I'm going to build it. And I was thinking about doing it in the Philippines because, man, like you said, like American dollars can do a lot of things in India or in the Philippines or something like that. And I can get on the phone. I'll train these people. I'll dedicate 72 hours a week training these people. I'll move to India or the Philippines, wherever I had to. And this has already been my plan. So, dude, let me know how I can help, and let's get this going.
Come to India for sure. The Philippines is great. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to train people up that work at another company, and you do not want to, trust me, you do not want
to. That's why I went Tier 5.
You don't want to spend your time and money training a freelancer, because that's never going to work for you, because as soon as you get them trained up, they're going to go somewhere else and get a higher amount.
Dude, that's the importance of this to me, because I'm never going to use another automation software besides Tier 5 stuff. I'm going full Tier 5. That's why I joined the Inner Circle. I mean, you talked about that. I was like, man, like I should probably get in the inner circle right now because it's about to close down. Like, dude, I'm not missing this opportunity. Like I've got something in the oven and it's a little early, but I'm willing to pay for it for several months until I actually need it. So it's a sleeping giant for me, man. But dude, I got some big things planned. I'm not going anywhere else. And that's why it's essential to have a tier 5 VA exclusive, because I don't want to use any other software. I want them to be completely trained in that. So that way I can just sell the front end. You know, put me in front of money and I'll bring it right to where it needs to be. But I need the back end and
it will be great because then it will allow you guys to essentially offer done-for-you services on all our softwares. If we get people trained up, then you guys can offer, and then that kind of speaks to what Lance was talking about. Like, how can he go in and actually offer this higher price point than the community? Well, outside of the beta tester, fuck it. I'm giving you done-for-you services, and it doesn't actually cost you anything because you just ship it over to the VAs over here who are already trained. The only thing that you guys will have to do is work on the content and like the marketing strategy. I can try to bring in people over here, but I'm never going to get it's going to be hard for me to get a very good content writer that speaks English that will do this type of stuff.
Right, exactly.
Writing in English, they want to do academic shit.
Dude.
Sure, but that's okay because that forms everybody to have their unique message. You know, you don't want to standardize that part.
So for sure, I can work on setting that up. It's going to take a while. It's going to take like a month or two to be able to actually start recruiting everybody, getting them in. But I can start working on. I've already started with one slowly because I wanted to work that up so I can bring in I've just had my HR focusing a lot more on engineers because I need like 10 more engineers so that we can so that I can work on 2 other softwares at the same time that we're rebuilding Text and Bulk.
Well, dude, I would love to help out. Like I said, man, I've done marketing for government. I've done marketing for a casino, a nation, an Indian nation that made billions of dollars, dude. I've done it for the newspapers. I'm currently doing it for newspapers. I would love to, like, dude, that's why I jumped into tier 5. I'd love to just completely white label this service. And like you said, what's even more valuable is it's more than just the done for you. Now it's actually you've given everybody that's an inner circle member a value prop. Everybody has a value proposition because now you've got like done with you, like where you can coach people, or you got to do it yourself where it's like, here's the services, you know, ciao. Or you got it done with you. It's like, hey, if you need a little coaching, you can upsell your time. And then you can just do this complete done for you. So it's perfect. Like everybody, as long as you like, you know, market yourself right, this is perfect. It's perfect storm.
It is. And we've actually, me and Kiko talked about it several times because what happens is, like my ideal person for the VA is someone who just didn't have the chops as a software engineer. Mom and dad said, hey, go to school to be an engineer. They went and they just couldn't practically program. So like they don't cost a lot of money. So what it allows us to do, we can bring them in. I can put an engineering title on them. I can give them a title of automation engineer. And so they can just go tell all their friends, yeah, I'm an engineer. I work over here at tier 5 as an engineer. And they can just be happy with their little title. And what it does for us is it allows us to rapidly expand our workforce without a lot of capital because they're low paid people, which allows us to attract a higher quality engineer because when they walk in seeing 30 people versus seeing 100 people, you know, I can scale up another 70 people for 50% more than what it costs me right now. So I can more than like triple my size for a little bit more than double my cost right now. So whenever these other high caliber engineers walk in, they're not going to know that all these people are just fucking tech support. They're just going to see 100 warm bodies sitting at a company, and they're going to feel like they're at that multinational company. They're going to feel like, okay, this is a big company, you know. Yeah, I want to work here, and I'll be able to steal those dudes from Microsoft and Intel. So we've talked about it several times. I just haven't had the need to have 50 or 60 fucking VA automation people just sitting around for
something. But now we do. But now we so do. And not only do you, but everybody here does. And what's bigger and better is it's just another thing that can be stacked on here. Like this completes the value prop to me. Like this is the value ladder that Russell always talks about. You know, how everything just kind of like whirlwinds together. This is perfect, dude. Like, And I'm super excited to be here. Like, man, I can't wait to keep going further. And dude, you got my full support, dude. Whatever you need from me, and you know, I'm down to pay whatever extra it costs, dude. I'm down.
My brain's exploding because I'm building websites in my head right now of how I want it, and
I've been wanting to do it for you, Shelly. I just haven't had the time, but I've been wanting to go in and get people trained up on Builderall just for you and your people, because I know if I got like 4 or 5 Builderall people, everybody in your downline, and just like, fuck, you don't even have to build the shit for people. Just tell me what you want and I'll have it built. I know that you could really push that like crazy. But Builderall just
and we've got a huge team. I've got a really, really big team. I'm a top 10 affiliate in the company, so I think I'm number 8.
And you got all the training to just point them to the training for them to learn how to do everything already. So,
well, we're doing something new too. I finally convinced the CEO. He's been having me do some really disjointed training that isn't really well organized, and they can't find it real easy. And even the people that are super users were having a hard time finding where the training was that they needed, and it was frustrating me, because I don't have any control over where the training gets put. So it was just all disjointed. So I actually built a boot camp, a 7-day boot camp, and put that out there with no promotion from me whatsoever, and no promotion from Builderall whatsoever. And people found it on Facebook, and then the ones that found it, I said, use this as a lead magnet, get them in for the 7-day free trial, and then give them this boot camp that's 7 days. And they'll have 7 days to go through there. And at the end, they'll be convinced they need Builderall because now they know how to build something. So we grew to 1,000 in just a couple months. And that was nothing. I did nothing. That was word of mouth and people finding it. And so I finally went to the CEO and I said, look, boot camps are going to be the way to go. I swear to God, I can do 50 boot camps for you on different things you can do with Builderall. And then they that 7-day trial, do any boot camp they want to on whatever area they want to focus on. That gets them in. And then once they're in, they've got 49 more boot camps they can choose from. And he finally, once he saw the results of it, and it was getting rave reviews. People were like, oh my God, this is great. I didn't know you could do this with Builderall. It's been great. So he finally said yes. So starting in January, I'll start knocking out boot camps as I can get them done. So that's huge. That one's huge.
That's exactly what ClickFunnels did too. They do the exact same thing. They put you through their affiliate boot camp. It's a 100-day affiliate boot camp, which is actually 14 days worth of training to go every day with their 14 days of their trial. And they just put you right into the system every day and get you indoctrinated. And that's why they have the sticker. It's the same thing there. Like, that's how you're going to get the sticker. If you get a 7-day trial and
the flaw with the training we had before the flaw with the training before was it was a clicky here, clicky there, clicky here, clicky there, and no real continuity between one thing to another. And then no explanation, right? So with this first boot camp I actually did way more than just click this button, click this button, click this button. Like when you, one of the things I covered was when you build a website, one of the biggest things you think about in the beginning is what colors am I going to use? So I actually taught them how to go in and choose the 4 main colors you want for your website and how to organize that in your website, how to find the little codes that you need to be able to grab those colors and use them for the buttons and the banners and stuff like that. And even though that doesn't sound like a major thing, when you're building a website for the first time, that's a big thing to get over, is what colors do I use? So I taught them how to capture colors, how to capture the code, how to use the code, where to share the code or take the code. And all of that is in just that first day. So it's not just click here, click there. It's concept stuff that they need. And then the first 6 days is always full-on training. And then the 7th day is always focusing on what else can you do with Builderall. So I think it's a perfect thing for bringing them in. And I think that's going to be huge for Builderall. And I see potential for my downline to grow mega fast with that, especially when I'm the one that teaches it.
Sure.
So yeah, so I want to get this in place so that I can be ready to offer those extra services to the thousands more that I'm going to bring in 2019.
It's a brilliant strategy to make sure that your new engagements stay engaged.
Right. And they're ready. They understand the power, even though it's just the shavings of the tip of the iceberg when you go through 7 days. I promise you, these people that are going through the 7 days have a lot of neat comments, and those comments are fantastic. I don't have anyone that says, yeah, Shelly, this is a crap training. they're all just like, oh my God, what value you given us for 7 days? That's the intention, is to keep building those boot camps the same way. So an e-commerce boot camp and a chatbot boot camp and I don't know, affiliate marketplace boot camp, how to be an affiliate, how to be a seller. There's so much you can do in Builderall. So I've got plenty of space to do those boot camps. And again, me teaching raises my authority level up for sure. And with my personality, they don't really forget me real easy. And that's good. And then that helps my team grow a lot. And then if I offer something like these services, I've already got that resonation with them. So it works. I think it'll work out really well.
Sure. Come back, Tom. Come on, Tom, come back. Yeah, I'll work on getting that set up.
I was like, no. Okay, good. And,
yeah, that'll be perfect.
If you want to bounce ideas off me, John, please do. I want to be involved and help in any way I can to help set it up and help you.
Well, I'll just from what you guys could do the most for me, what would be the most helpful is if you guys could just make like lists of the types of things that you would be having these people do, like all the different things that you would be having, because I think probably what would end up working the best is having dedicated VAs that are dedicated for some people, and then having a pool of VAs that are just pool tasks where essentially it would be kind of segregated, where your dedicated VA, their job would basically be traffic direction. So they would just take your stuff and traffic direct it to the pool of VAs and just make sure that it actually gets done. So you would always really kind of have more than one VA. You'd have one VA that, when I say dedicated, they're mostly yours and maybe with somebody else, and all they're really doing is managing traffic and getting and taking the task and then making sure that they get off to the right pool of VA so that everything gets done properly, and they're like a VA manager.
So, hey, John, here's an idea, man. So you said you have like a pool of VAs. You'll have like a pool of VAs, man. So everybody that's interested in this, maybe like you said, a dedicated VA. Like, so I'd done this previously in another company, and actually I was one, and that was my position, was a concierge. So I was a virtual concierge. So what I did is we had our own VAs that they had in the Philippines and several other places. But what I did is, because I spoke great English, I found out what the clients needed and then passed it along. So, it would be cool to have that concierge service, where you have that one dedicated person that's like, hey, I need this like beautiful machine, and they understand it so they can translate on the back end, right?
He's the traffic routing. He's that way, because you're not going to get one VA, like, trust me, you're not going to get one dude that's great at automation, that's great at building websites, that's
yeah, right.
emails. That all has to be pooled stuff. You have one person that's really good at this, another person that's really good at this, because of their interest level and what they want to do. If you're going to have a dude that's going to do automation, chatbots, funnels, answering emails, nothing's going to get done properly because they can't focus on one thing. So we need talent, and then you guys need just traffic routers where you can put in all your tasks, and your little traffic router looks at everything, and he just assigns it to people in the pool of VAs and basically manages your workload.
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay.
But for that, like I said, what you guys could do to facilitate is essentially, so a couple things you could do to facilitate. You guys could all make a post in the Inner Circle group about wanting this type of service to gauge interest to see who else wants it. And then you could essentially start writing out a list of the types of tasks that you would want to be assigning these people, the types of things you would want these people to do. So I could go in and start finding the appropriate type of resources that can do those types of things.
Gotcha. Okay. Awesome. Doing it now.
Awesome.
Yeah, the one thing I just got an email. I am actually the president of the Marine Corps here in Orlando. They're actually going to do a conference on Wednesday for all presidents throughout the country. I figured if I can get some sort of proposal put together for that, I can capture all the military guys, especially Marines. We stick together. We're a circle for life. You know, once a Marine, always Marine. And Marines listen to other Marines as well. And with me being a president of the chapter here in Orlando, this could be a huge, because I can say, hey, I got a VA who will come in and set this up for you so that you can get all the other Marines in your circle in your town to get this program, and you can bring this to the meetings that we have. So, I mean, with having that kind of service alone, I mean, it's going to just, and keeping it in-house makes it even better. This way we know it's being done properly.
For sure. For sure, I agree. That's why I don't have a VA. That's why I don't have a VA. I just have an A. I have an A, not a VA, because I don't trust them. All right, the B part I don't trust very much because I don't get to see them. My A just sits right there, and I can see what she does, and I can see what she's doing at all times, and it makes it a lot trusted for me because I keep tabs on her. I can see what she's actually doing. So that's why I moved to India, is because I outsourced and I had virtual development teams to do all my work, and that was real fucking garbage. That's why I moved over here and started a company over here, because it allowed me to actually get control over what I needed done and not get scammed by people, and actually control the process that I wanted things done in.
You're my hero. And I want a monkey. I love your monkey. Dude, my kids love your monkey so much. Like, one night I was listening and he was jumping around. I showed my kids, and all three of my kids, I get them on the weekends. I have one full time, and they all piled around. They're like, oh my God, monkey. They're like, we want a monkey.
Yeah, my husband saw it and he said, no.
They're way cooler than dogs, trust me. It's much cooler than any dog I ever owned.
We'd have to pare down. I have 5 cats and 2 dogs, so we'd have to pare down a bit before we decided to do anything like that.
So is your I haven't seen any updates. Is your robot ready for your monkey to drive? Did you put the sticks on there so he can drive it?
No, I haven't got a lot of chance. But this is how far I got with it so far. So I don't have the version for George ready yet. This one's just
I seen that. I guess that was the last one I'd seen of it. I didn't know if you've done any more.
No, I don't get a lot of time to fuck off, man. So no, not yet. I still have to actually prototype an exoskeleton for George and prototype the seat for him to actually sit in to get it mounted to the robot. But everything else is simple. I mean, the controls are super, super simple. The hard part is doing the CAD and designing the actual exoskeleton and the seat for him to sit in, because he's got to be contained where he can't, because he's a monkey. That dude will fucking, like, no matter, he'll get out somehow. So yeah, I gotta really design it, but it will come. Don't worry.
Kind of like I said, kind of like Tony Stark. You remind me a little bit like Elon Musk too. All of your cool projects and stuff. Like, dude, you're so inspiring, dude. Like, truly inspiring. That's what I get the most out of being here. Even more than the software, man. Like, seeing you work, man, it's pretty amazing. And you give really high level trainings, man. I've been on paid Zapier trainings, and I've gone through some coaching. Man, I paid for some coaching courses that you've taught. Not only more than that, you went more in depth than they had done, and on things that I've spent previously. So, man, you do a great job, man.
Appreciate it. What's up, Maseo? What's up, my guy?
What's happening?
Just hanging out. What you doing, man?
Oh man, busy. So damn busy, man. Been missing these damn calls.
Me too.
You can't stop driving, man.
Yeah, you can't stop
driving.
You
sell software from the car.
Constant. You're like a 24/7 marketing in your car video, man.
You gotta give me some shit that's gonna work in the car, man. How's everything?
On my side, everything's great, man. My side, everything's great. So I can't complain. I'm all good.
I'm not even gonna ask any questions because y'all probably talked about everything already. I just watched the video.
Is that all you do is drive though, bro? I bet that's all I see. You always in the car.
Man, it's just the timing of the meetings. I'm typically running around, going to my son's basketball games or something like that, going to dinner or something on Friday night, you know.
I hear you. I know he likes to take up our Friday nights for some reason. I don't understand this. It's supposed to be at happy hour right now, and
It's Friday night for you guys?
Yeah, it's Friday night, bro.
That means it's Saturday morning for me, man. that means I came here yesterday at 11 a.m. and I ain't left yet. So
I'll be on Bourbon
like
Street
20 something hours now.
Bourbon Street tomorrow night for me.
I have not been there yet. That's one next.
We go there every Easter and do Easter brunch and the Easter parade, and my husband like gets me a big Easter hat and a special Easter dress. I mean, it's ridiculous. And then we always go listen to our favorite band. It's Steamboat Willie. He's in Legends Park right there on Bourbon Street, and I love to sing. I do karaoke everywhere. And we know him well enough now. We've been there so many times that he'll pull me up and actually let me sing with him. So that's really cool. But this is the first year that we're going to do Christmas in New Orleans. So we're really, really excited. We're spending a whole week there.
Nice.
I'm ready. I need a break.
Everyone does.
Yeah. Yep. It's nice.
Yeah, I will comment and say though, I like how the apps are starting to be, a lot functional on the mobile devices. It's looking good, man. Keep up the good work.
The new changes on the look of them, I'm excited about that too.
Speaking of that, that's actually one thing that was on my mind. Are we going to be doing apps for these programs on the smartphone where they can just go to the app store and download them anytime soon? Or?
We could, but a lot of them don't really make so much sense to have apps on them, really.
Sticker reviews and Magic's app.
To be honest, I don't see either one of those softwares as something that someone would really be using on a mobile device, really. I mean, I don't see too much.
What I could see is maybe the domain leads to check.
Yeah, that would be a good one too.
That you checked over to, to a Google Drive or something, but
we will definitely be making them. We will definitely be making them all responsive, and they'll all have web apps, and they'll all be responsive. The only thing that I could really envision having an actual native mobile app for right now would be Text in Bulk, and that native mobile app would actually be something that would be similar to Lead Owl, that just actually lets you know you got new leads and triggers you reminders to call those people up and stuff.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to ask any questions. I lied. I am going.
Hey, we see you over there token, girl. He went said there's like I gotta blaze out. Fuck these guys. So Simon, to answer your question, a brief product roadmap for 2019 and current status on the UI on the current software. So we are doing a major overhaul for all the UI and all the software. Right now, we're pretty much, so I'm still wrapping up client work until the beginning of the year. I'm wrapping up client work at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I won't have any clients, but I'm keeping one client just because they've been a really cool client and they're completely hands-off and they just consume one developer, and they pay a good amount of money for one developer. It's completely hands-off, and we've been supporting them for 18 months already, and I gave all my clients new terms, and they were the only one that was like, hell yeah, we want those new terms, and we'll just keep working on those new terms. So other than that, we won't have any clients, and with that one client, the new terms are I'm not involved. You can't fucking message me. You can't message me at all other than if I forget to send you an invoice, and that's not going to happen. So right now we're pretty much completely focused on Text in Bulk, making it global and increasing the speed and the load time on that software, refactoring the code base so that it's a little bit more stable for all the users and scalable. That should be done by the end of the month. Once that's done, then we're going to start over again for the most part, and also refactor it again. We're going to segregate the backend application from a front-end application. We're going to implement a brand new design on text in bulk and start incorporating some new features. Not a hell of a lot of features, but some features. We're going to give you more features like ringless voicemail. We're going to give you more control over the browser calls. That's a cute little kid, Michelle. We're going to give you more control over the browser calls and your ability to transfer that call around and what you can do once they're actually connected, like send them now to your voicemail or send them to an IVR or transfer them to somebody else or conference somebody in, build in an actual dial pad so that you can, if you call somebody and it asks you to press 1 or something, you'll have a dial pad in there like you do in a traditional phone. We're going to incorporate some tagging so that you can actually tag people in your automations and make decisions on what you send out based on tags. We're going to incorporate a calendar so that you can actually see all the things that are scheduled. We're incorporating custom fields so that you can add your own custom merge fields. We'll do an integration with Tower Data and integration with Hunter. Then we're also going to do another integration with the IBM Watson so that you can create like the autoresponder that you have with the SMS messages. You'll be able to configure a phone number to be an autoresponder where you can go in and list out your keywords and then record your custom audio so somebody can call your phone and be listening to your voice, but it'd be a complete AI and them never speak to you. If the AI doesn't understand what they're saying, then it will trigger a call and bridge you in where now you can finish up the call in a live mode because your AI couldn't understand what to do.
Dude, Google's doing that too.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's impressive, dude. I love hearing that.
We'll probably include some type of transcription service as well for your audios there. That's all pretty much just text and bulk stuff that is going to be released. So outside of text and bulk, we are actually just started working. I don't want to show you guys this because I don't want you guys to go use it, but we are just, so part of the goal is to, I've talked about this a couple times in some of the meetings, but I personally make a distinguishing between what I call a cap and what I call a map. All right. So a cap is a customer acquisition product. All the softwares that we have right now are essentially caps. Those softwares, from my perspective and from Tier 5's perspective, those softwares are not intended to make us money. Those softwares are only intended to acquire customers for us, to acquire users for us. All right. The other type of product is called a map. That's a money acquisition product. That is a product that's intended to actually make us money. All right. So you guys as Inner Circle partners, you guys have unlimited access to do whatever you want with all the cap products. Well, I don't know exactly what they'll be, but during the next year, we'll create a few more cap products for you so that you end up having like 10 different cap products. And that's a big arsenal of software products that you can do whatever you want with. You can give them for free as a value ladder. You can charge for them to make some extra money. Essentially, from our perspective, what you're doing is you're building a customer list so that whenever we release our maps, we can just market to those people and we can flood our new money acquisition product with paid customers to increase the value of the revenue shares without it costing us any actual marketing money whatsoever. Our cost to acquire a customer is actually the bottleneck whenever it comes to SaaS software. Any company, actually, if you look at any company's business model, their bottleneck on revenue is cost to acquire a customer. That's everybody's bottleneck. The lower you can get your cost to acquire a customer, the more customers that you can get, the more money that you can actually make. All right. So we'll create a couple new customer acquisition products to release to you guys, and then we'll start the transition of turning our customer acquisition products, creating a secondary version of our customer acquisition products into money acquisition products. So like text in bulk, we'll rebrand text in bulk and add even new features. And then we'll most likely do what Apple does, which is increase a little bit of latency into the customer acquisition product so that there is a much higher incentive for people to go from that customer acquisition product and migrate into the money acquisition product because of the additional benefits that they get by switching over to that product. like I said, we're doing one iteration of all the UIs right now. I'm going to bring in a senior systems architect, and what we're going to create is we're going to create a very easy and an easy systematic way for anybody to actually white label our software, so that Inner Circle members could essentially white label all our customer acquisition products and have them all behind their own brand and their own logo, and also be acquiring customers for us. The reason that we want to do that is because people will pay us a large amount of money. People will pay us, between $1,000 to $5,000 a month to white label one software, and literally that means they'll be paying us $5,000 a month to acquire customers for us. All right, so they will literally pay us to acquire customers, and it doesn't get any better than that, really. So what our plan is to do is to go in and provide like 5 or 6 different designs for each and every software. So if somebody wants to white label it, they can pick the design and the layout that they want for that software. And then inside our softwares, we'll allow the user to pick whatever design that they want. So if the user doesn't like design 1 because they feel like, it's too light for their old eyes, they can just go to their settings and they can completely change the UI of our software to whatever they like the best and give them more control as a user as far as what our software looks like to them, because that will allow us to actually keep customers a lot longer. If a customer doesn't like the way that the software looks, they're going to go somewhere else. So if we give them 4 or 5 options and say, hey, you can pick how it looks for you, then we'll be able to keep a lot more customers, because the ones that are going to leave because they don't like the look of it, they can just change the look to a different look and then they'll be happy. And then the ones that hate that, they can use something else, they'll be happy.
Oh, good. I'm glad you took that feedback. Yeah, we were talking about that in one of the threads on the Inner Circle chat. Like, you were like, which one do you like better? I was like, man, it'd be sweet to have like all of them as an option. That's really cool.
Well, just so you guys know, to be honest and transparent, when I post stuff in the Inner Circle on designs and ask you guys what you think about it, to be completely honest, I don't give a fuck. I just do that so that you guys engage in the group, because the more that you engage, the more bound you are to tier 5 and the longer that you stick. Right now the softwares look like shit. No matter what design I put there, whether you guys like it or not, no matter what design we put there is gonna look 200 times better. Now, once I get that first design and it looks better, then we can go in and present 5 different designs, and we can have a debate and all work together and pick what is the best one. Right now, any design my designer makes is going to be 100, 200, 300% better than what's there right now, because there has been no design. There has been no UX. It's just been an engineer that's put stuff together, and that's just not how it should be. So right now, the very first design that he gives, I'm implementing that regardless of whether people love it or not, because it's going to be 10 or 20 times better than what exists there right now, and it's going to look a lot better, which will attract a lot more customers. So then we've already started with this right here, and this is a freaking awesome ass software right here, and it is essentially the money acquisition version of Magic Zap. So this software is really cool. If you go in and actually check out this software, it's super cool. Like if I come in here, and you'll understand why this is so awesome, because it does what it does. It does the automation that Magic Zap does, or it does the customization that Magic Zap does. It does not do the automations. All right, so it doesn't do any of the automations, but it does the customization. And the way it does it is awesome. Like, look, this is the community website. All right, like if I come here and I go to community.tier5.us. Let me just come here and get this to load up. And then if I go like to type equals freelancer, I gotta do an incognito window. Maybe it's with an S, free. You can see that it says it's a perfect community for freelancers. It actually has a different video on it than if you just go to the normal community website. If you go to the normal community website, it has that video on it. If you go to this and you just say type equals marketer. Then you can see, maybe it's marketers. Maybe it is, let's see, it has name. Oh, I think it's name. Hold on. I think it's actually name. Maybe it's F name. I can't remember what I said it outlined it. So anyways, if you look, like it's pretty awesome. It actually, this is the main thing that we're gonna work on right now in Magic Zap, because what this does, it allows you to actually put a script on your website. This site is actually built on ClickFunnels. Now it actually, since it's built on ClickFunnels and I got the script installed, it renders this entire editor here. And this entire editor, anything that I want, I can go in and actually edit the text and really truly customize this for any audience that I want. It supports your UTM code so that whenever you're running ads from Facebook, you can pass in a UTM code, and that UTM code will carry over here. There is no flashback, which means these dudes do some pretty complex stuff. It's pretty complex programming. It's gonna take us about 4 or 5 months to, like literally, I'm software hacking this exact software. They charge 400 euros a month for this software, is what they charge, 400 euros a month. That's a big ticket for a monthly software. But what they allow you to do is awesome. Like you can literally come in here, like you can literally come inside this thing right here, and you can just edit this thing. And whenever you edit this, you can edit the live code. Like you can literally actually edit the raw HTML code that gets rendered, which means I can completely change out this YouTube video. I can do anything that I want to this website based on data that comes into the URL, and the user never knows about it because all the data is actually encapsulated. So this is like the money acquisition product for Magic Zap. We're literally going to, by the end of the year, we're going to have an exact clone of this software, and with the automations. These guys don't have any automations. We'll have the same automations. And like I said, these dudes sell this. You can't even buy, like this software is like 47 euros for the basic account, 197 euros for the like advanced account, and their pro account starts at 400 euros, but they don't even let you buy it unless you talk to them. Like they won't let you get on that $400 plan or that 400 euro plan unless you physically go through a pricing call with them for them to tell you what your price will actually be based on how you're going to use it. And this software is really, really awesome. Like you can go in, trust me, if you go in and check this software out, it's a super, this is all, if you notice, this is on the website. This is literally, I am not in their software. It's all getting rendered from that script that I installed, and I can change anything that I want. I can completely delete elements here, and it will be awesome for complete personalization. I'm actually going to do it to the community page so that whenever I run ads, I can just target affiliate marketers, I can target marketers, I can target digital marketers, and whoever I target on Facebook, I just pass in the UTM code to my page, and the page will be completely dynamic and will speak it will literally speak to them and what it is that they do. So we're planning on essentially, like I said, verbatim software hacking this software and then adding in our automations for it. We're planning on taking sticky reviews and essentially adding some automations to sticky reviews, and then adding in we're going to take that as a proof competitor by the end of the year and add in the essential, like the live conversions that Proof does. Proof doesn't do reviews, they just do conversion tracking. They, just say, hey, someone bought this, someone bought that, but they don't actually give a physical review. So we'll have a mixture of the actual live conversions that are coming in, the hot streaks, the live view on your website, but then we'll also have an automation where, let's say John Doe comes in and then they register for webinar and then John Doe buys product. Well, Proof only shows John Doe buys product. We'll show John Doe buys product, and then we'll allow you to set up an automation where 7 days after John Doe buys product, you can send him your review link, and he can actually leave a physical review with real words, and we'll replace that John Doe bought product with John Doe said this about product and leave a real review there. We're hoping to really be able to compete with Proof. We have an awesome UI for that software. And that's about all I've got planned out right now. So that's a lot of work, though.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That's amazing.
So we do have some other stuff planned with RoboContact. So with RoboContact, we plan on going in allowing you to check whether users. So with RoboContact, we're going to go in and add a Tower Data integration. We just added the Hunter integration. We're going to add a Tower Data integration. We're going to expand out on the Hunter integration where you can have the multiple contacts under a particular business, get their name, get their position, get their social profiles back from Hunter, so that whenever you send out an email, you can include those merge fields, and then you'll be able to target at a business, hey, I only want to send the emails to the CFOs if you find the CFOs. We're going to check the websites for SSL certificates and give you a report back if they have an SSL, if they don't have an SSL, if they have an invalid expired SSL. We're going to check the websites for all the social pixels and let you know whether they have social pixels, whether they don't have social pixels. Then you're going to have a message builder where inside your message, the messages that you build, you'll be able to have essentially just merge, like has Facebook pixel. Like you'll have a merge field Facebook pixel, and then you'll be able to go in and create in your messages a message for if they do have a Facebook pixel, if they don't have a Facebook pixel. And then whenever you're writing your message out, your email out to them, you'll just be able to include that merge field, that Facebook pixel, and it will look to check to see, did they have a Facebook pixel? Did they didn't? Insert that message. Same thing for SSL. You'll have like an SSL merge field where you can define 3 different messages. They have an SSL, they don't have an SSL, they have an expired or invalid SSL. You define the message for each one. You just put the SSL merge field in your message, and it will just on the fly build up your message according to whatever data that we find. So we kind of have that stuff planned out, and I plan on really, hopefully, as soon as I get stuff done with text and bulk and I can get a couple of those engineers, starting back up on Chatvago and start getting our chatbot building platform out because I know that we can build a chatbot building platform that's fucking better than ManyChat and better than ChatFuel both.
Dude,
like, both of those guys, but like our chatbot building platform, but like both of those guys, there's no reason that like my plan is text and bulk. My plan is to marry text and bulk and invoicing you and a chatbot building platform together with a funnel building platform. All right, it's like you need a chatbot, and there's so many types of complex data that that Facebook doesn't allow you to collect from a standard data type, like a range slider, right? You can't collect any range slider. You can't do multiple checkboxes. You can't do a radial button. All the types of forms that you would see on a website, you can't get that data in a chatbot because Facebook doesn't provide those native data objects. So you have to use what's called a web view, all right? And that web view has to talk back to the chatbot so you can collect these advanced data types. So the chatbot platforms right now, they don't have any web view builders. They don't have any way for you to easily just build little cute mobile friendly landing pages to show data and collect additional data.
Sure.
So we got to incorporate that. A chatbot should be able to initiate a phone call or initiate an email or send a text message. Your chatbot should be able to do that. Do we have all the engineering resources in place to carry out all that workload? Yes and no. So we kind of, sort of, yes. I'm on a hiring spree right now where we're hiring 10 new engineers. I'm trying to bring on a couple more partners to increase our revenue so I can expand and go from the 3,000 square foot office that we have right now and bump up to a 10,000 square foot office. That's going to double my rent, which is still not a lot. This can be like $4,000 a month for a 10,000 square foot office. What's that?
I said, that's what we got to do then. I'm going to get on my game, dude.
Well, my plan is I kind of got 2 plans. Like I said, I can afford myself to bring in extra partners because if I bring in extra partners, I'm giving away, like I said, I still, like 70% of the revenue shares at Tier 5 are mine because I brought in 80% of the partners. I brought them in. So if I keep bringing in partners, it doesn't cost me a lot because every partner that I bring in, it only costs me a small amount of revenue because their Tier 1 and Tier 2 shares go to me because I'm bringing that person in. All right. So I kind of have 2 plans is I'm going to bring in some more partners, but then one of the reasons I asked all you guys for reviews is because once I feel like we're saturated on the revenue shares of the partners, I'm going to take that same partner page and I'm going to still sell partnerships, but I'm going to sell partnerships with no revenue shares. and all they're going to have the ability to do is essentially they're going to be like agency holders. So what that does is it brings in more partners that give us more revenue so that we can expand out. It doesn't cost us any revenue shares, and all those people are going to be doing is acquiring customers for us. They're just going to be paying us, and they're just going to be out acquiring us a customer list. So I'm going to bring in some more partners with revenue shares, and after I feel that saturated, then I'm going to go in. And like I said, I'm going to sell partnerships with just no revenue shares. I'm just going to pull the revenue shares out, and I'm going to let them just resell our software and bring in people like that. How much disruption will it cause in an office move? None really. I mean, we moved like I live streamed our last move. We moved from a 1,000 square foot office to a 3,500 square foot office.
It's not like we stop working and then we move and then we again start. It's like
we rent 2 offices, so we have one office rented, and then we get the other office rented, and we put a bunch of workers in there getting everything set up. Right. Last time it cost us 2 days in production because I wanted to create. And the only reason it cost us 2 days in production is because I wanted to create more bonding between our employees, so I made them paint our office. So I had everybody come in, and we spent 2 days together, and we just painted the office together instead of me hiring people. I could have just hired people, and it would have been cheaper and easier, but it wouldn't have allowed for the bonding that we like. We like our employees to feel like it's a family here, because we are a family here, and it's just smart to. It's smart to appreciate and value your employees. It's smart to treat.
Hey, John, something that Russell did that I think would be an amazing idea from a marketing aspect and just from every to get more partners and everything. So did you see not long back Russell did the telethon? You didn't see him do that? He did a telethon for ClickFunnels, and he rolled out a whole bunch of really cool offers. And what was cool is they did it like they did like back in the day, like they did back in like the 90s, where they were sitting there and they're like, call the phones now. We've got these insane offers. Call. Everybody's waiting to pick up the phone. They show everybody in the background like picking up the phones, helping people, and they were selling software. And it's because he was getting money together, and it was an amazing way to get people involved. So it'd be cool to see something like that. Like, hey, here's an insane special. Like. Give an incentive to the inner circle members to get more partners. Like, hey, here's more incentive to get the partners, and we're gonna stay up for the next 48 hours, and close this campaign out. We only have this many spots left, and create some exclusivity and put some urgency on it, dude. You could probably fill it up real quick, and dude, that's nothing. It's super easy to get all that, and you got some big hitters in here. I mean, I for one would totally do this. And I'm working with some 2 Comma Club members that have huge downlines. That was my mindset anyways, is using this and be like, man, I can drip this on somebody's downline and man, talk about a hook, create a story, and then boom, tail tag it with an offer. And dude, that's a business, dude. This is a business for somebody that has the right mindset, dude. This is so one other question I have, since this was brought up. So I love Builderall. I love ClickFunnels. I love Kartra. I love them all, man, right? I love them all. I love software. So eventually, I'm sure you already thought of this, but all the softwares are eventually going to be in one place, right? One central hub where we can all use them. No? You don't ever want to do it like we have landing pages and complete automation like Builderall and all that, ever?
Why would they do that?
No. I don't personally. That's one of the things I don't like about Builderall is that they do that. No, I don't personally want to do that, because I think that, and I think Shelly could probably even attest to that, your barrier to entry on getting people in and actually them understanding what to do, because everything's in one spot, and then to know, okay, sure, what should I do? What should I focus on? And 2, if you think about it.
That's the barrier is you've got a smorgasbord and they don't know.
A lot of the stuff doesn't work. They still haven't, I'm not a big Builderall fan, because I signed up to be an ambassador actually under Shelly, and I went in and checked it out, and for me it was stupid. It's like some of the stuff, they got so much stuff in there, and they haven't zeroed down and focused on one thing and perfected that one thing yet. They've tried to do a little bit of everything. And from my perspective, all right, if I were Builderall, most of those apps will be different. Why? Because I don't want a user to come in and have access to everything. You get access to that. You want access to this other software? Well, you can have access to it. If it's all under one roof, it's all under one price. If it's all under different roofs, it's all under different prices. So I personally wouldn't want to do that, no. And I have no plans on put. I think that's just going to be confusing as fuck. Like I've had so many people ask me to do that. Can we just put everything in once? We just log into one thing, and then like, can you just imagine? I already have people so much support how to use this, how to use that. Now the average person,
community though, like Russell does though. That's because that's the thing with Russell does the same thing. Your community is your support channel, right?
Sure, to some extent, sure. I agree to some extent, sure.
Because there are some ninjas in there, man. That's what got me great with ClickFunnels, and then once I learned ClickFunnels, and I'd already messed with WordPress, but it was so simplified. It was like, man, I didn't have to attach all these apps, and that's what I hated about all that. That's now what I'm good at. Now I'm like helping people with automation, but that's one thing I know is like ease of use, and I do get the barrier of entry thing. I totally understand that, and I get why you don't want to do it. I just I love the idea of like having a central hub for all tier 5 stuff, or even if it's not like Kartra and Builderall do, have it still like maybe an affiliate, well not like an affiliate, but like an affiliate section would be, so that way you can still have like quick ease, so you don't have to like tab like 8 and 10 domains and 16 domains when we have 16 and 50. You said there's going to be at least another 10 softwares. So it'd be cool to have a place, like a central place, even if it's not like Builderall and all that, or even if it was like something for suite members. But man, I know like I'm never going to slow down. And as I learn, like I've helped out Nikos. When Nikos got in here, he asked a couple questions, and man, I fired in there. And honestly, it was everything that I asked you. And so when you were talking to me and do that little bit of like, dude, that meant a whole hell of a lot to me, and that's why I'm so gun ho. Like you were like, dude, let me just break it down for you real simple, like blah, 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 blah. And then Nikos is like, man, I have this question, and I just like, look, dude, boom. He's like, I get it. And so I think that like to have it in one central place would have eliminated me having, because I wouldn't have had those questions if we had it all in one place. And so I finally connected the dots of everything. But I imagine other people will have that concern. That's always why I brought it up.
They're so distinctly, the softwares themselves are so distinctly different. And also, if you look at it, right now, you have 7 softwares that you can give out as lead magnets, that you can sell, that you can include in your offers. If I go and put everything under one roof, all of a sudden now you got one thing. You got one thing, right?
I do have a question though. I have the ability to iframe. One of the things I'm thinking about doing is actually offering membership and then iframing in, so that I have a back area, protected membership area, and they can go to the login page and then log in and then go to the actual software. Do you think that would be doable?
Yeah, we talked about that before, and yeah, you can do it. We talked about it before. You can do it. I don't have any problem at all.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. We do have a plan to build a funnel builder, though. I do for sure have a plan to build a funnel builder. But like where my view on where I think that ClickFunnels and Builderall, where I think they really fuck up is they focus on building funnels and they focus on websites, and that is not the actual focus, right? It's like in my funnel builder, the focus is on the person, right? It is not the funnel that should be the focus. The focus is on that lead, that person that you're trying to get to the funnel, and you're trying to get them to convert, and you're trying to nurture them until they make a sale. That is your focus. That is your main concern. And in my perspective, ClickFunnels and Builderall, they do it complete ass backwards. ClickFunnels specifically, I mean, and what I really hate about ClickFunnels is they make fucking $8 million a month off their software, and their follow-up system and their contact system is fucking garbage. It's like your main thing that you're trying to do is take a person, take them on a journey through following up with them and get them to purchase. Why are you focusing just on the funnel where the information is instead of actually focusing on that person? That should be your main focus, is focus on that person and their journey and their pathway from cold traffic to buyer. And that's how my funnel system would be a lot more like text in bulk, where the funnel building platform is an auxiliary thing, and you would build funnels and it would know just based on that person where to drive people to, based on the fact that it knows that person, he knows where he's at in your little journey, and that would be your main focus, is focusing on the funnel. No funnel gives you money. I mean, anybody who thinks that a funnel makes you money, it doesn't. Funnels don't make you money, fucking people do. But ain't no funnel going to pay you. A person is going to pay you. So you should not be focusing on your funnel. You should really focus on that person and nurturing that person. Now, yes, you're probably going to have to send them to a funnel for them to actually complete the process, but that's not where your money's coming from. Your money's coming from that person.
Vehicle, right? Yeah, yeah.
I believe you should focus on.
I agree with that. It's totally a vehicle. I totally get what you're saying. That's actually really badass. I'm super excited to see that. Like, what are all the features going to be? Is it just going to be like, are you going to have? Is it going to be similar to like, you know, like you have tripwire funnels? Are you going to have like an invisible funnel, bridge funnels, and video sales funnels? Same scenario. You're going to have like all the different templates and everything. Will be similar to? I mean, just almost in likeness.
I would say to be successful, yes. I think that the easiest way to success is to really facilitate people's laziness. The more that you can facilitate somebody's laziness, the more you can charge for something, right?
That's I work. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, Builderall has 10 times more templates than ClickFunnels does. They have probably 20, 30 times more.
Oh yeah, no doubt. So does Kartra.
Why does
same
it have all that?
They
want to. They want to go take that market share, and they know, okay, to take this market share, we got to facilitate people's laziness, all right? People don't want to build websites. Maybe they just will go edit a couple words, but they don't actually have to, they don't want to think about creativity. They just want to see, okay, here's 20 different templates for car dealerships. Which one of these generic ass things do I want? Who cares if it's generic and 100 other people have it? Because if it's going to be custom, I'm either going to have to pay a lot of money, or I'm going to have to spend a lot of time, and fuck that, I don't want to do that. So I can't really get into details on it because I haven't sat down and I haven't got text in bulk. I can get into details because I spend a lot of time thinking and a lot of time planning where we're going with that software. I just haven't had the bandwidth to be able to do that. But for sure, we need a website builder, because at the end of the day, I want people to be able to come to us and not need other software. I want them to be able to come to us and they don't need other stuff. I mean, I don't want to house it all under one roof, because I think whenever you house it, whenever you house everything under one roof, people end up getting that perception that these guys aren't good at anything, really. Like everything's here.
Well, something I like about that too is that gives the people like right now that are on this like journey in the very beginning, like we're going to be super ninjas. So I like that too, because once you do onboard people, if it's not like all in one central hub and people have to integrate, like that's where people have a lot of problems with ClickFunnels. It gives a lot of people like us to step up in the community, just like they do in the ClickFunnels official community, and build ourselves as an authority. Be like, hey, you know, like super easy, kind of like what she was forgive me, like Shelly was saying about what she did with Builderall, right?
Builderall has a low price.
There's another distinct advantage to keeping it separate, and that is that we, as users of Tier 5, part of the inner circle, we have 6 things to give away, and we don't have to give them all 6 away to one person. We can say, okay, you can get this piece of software if you like and share. You can get this piece of software if you do this. You can get this piece of software if you join me. You can do this.
Great monetization method, right?
That's the distinct value we have right now with it being piecemealed out instead of all together. And I personally love that advantage right now.
Well, that's how I did it.
Also, if you think about it, Builderall's main advantage is they have a obnoxiously low price point. Their price point is low. But I'm sure even you've heard it lots of times, Shelly, where if you go in, and I know most Builderall people, that's what they do. Builderall can do this, they 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 can do this, and this, and this. All right, and they go on, and that actually costs you sales, because your users, I don't need this. I don't need this. I don't need none of that. I just need this. This is all I need. Well, Builderall can do that. Then your user is like, well, why am I paying for all this other stuff? I don't need this other stuff. I don't want this other stuff.
They also run, John, because if you go this. They're like, oh, it's going to take me 10 years to learn that.
For sure.
So I teach my team, don't tell them all that. Just pick a couple things. Our Pixel Perfect is definitely our flagship product. So pick just a couple things. Anything beyond 2 or 3 things and you're word vomiting, and they're going to fight. So just 2 or 3 things, and then that's it. And
if they don't need it. If they don't need those things, it puts a negative thought. You don't ever want, like if you look at all the great salespeople, everything that they do in a conversation keeps you in a positive yes attitude so that they can close the sale. You don't ever want somebody, especially if you're trying to sell something, you don't ever want anybody to be like, well, I don't need that. I don't want that. All right. Because that is now becomes a hindrance to your actual sale. So if we were to go in and actually put everything under one roof and then try to sell somebody, that's exactly what we're going to get. Well, I don't need that. What? So why am I paying for that? Do I get a discount because I'm not going to use that? No. Well, I don't need that. I just want only this thing. So I don't like it.
Yeah, actually,
from a business standpoint, anyway.
Another advantage of BuilderAll though is at the price point they are. If you only had the builder, it'd be worth it. If you only had
sure.
worth it.
Correct.
Sure.
The e-commerce would be worth it. The affiliate marketplace only, it'd be worth it. So if you did piecemeal them out individually, they're actually worth the money that you pay. So you're getting a tremendously high value, no doubt about it. And as we keep going, it gets a little bit better and a little bit better. We've actually done some amazing things now with the menus, the checkout. Membership site now is a wizard, which is fantastic. So everything is getting better and better and better and better every day. And the good thing is also that we've got more user input with the certified partners. So they're driving more of how BuilderAll looks and feels and works as well. So I think that, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's you have the BuilderAll program that puts it all under one roof. And because of pricing, it works.
For sure.
But I think not under one roof, an individual and the quality of those individual pieces, that works. So I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. I think there's just different ways to do it. And it's funny because I actually do think both are working. And I know they are because I'm making money. It's working.
Sure. It does work. But again, with everything under one roof, you have to be at that lower price point because sure. That's the only way that you're going to get the people who don't need all the other stuff to buy the thing is by having the higher price point. That is your key seller there, right? And you'll never get a higher price point. You won't be able to get a higher price point. You're going to have to be at that lower price. And I don't particularly want to do that. And that's just
there's no exclusivity. There's no exclusivity. Like Russell Brunson has the exclusivity as the Edison suite. Like you can get the basic or you can get the Edison. Same with Kartra. You can get in here or get in here, get in here. I kind of did the same thing with a split test on your $1 a day thing. I have a funnel. I actually just had one of my other mentors break my funnel down, make sure I had everything aligned right. But I took 3 of your offers and I did the text in bulk, robo contract, and invoicing you. And then I was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do to target hot traffic that already have a agency that need to generate leads, that need to follow up with them great, and don't want to worry about collecting a $2,000 or $5,000 payment. So it's that was perfect. And then what I did is for an extra $17 for $47 a month instead of $30 a month, I give them the rest of it. And then one of the upsells is me automating everything for them for $500 a month. And then the next one is a downsell, which is, hey, I just warm up your leads for you, and you can do all the automation. And so, I have that funnel kind of built out. There's fewer things I go in there, but I value stacked it out. And it was you know what? I could give the $1 a day is great for all the software, but I could get somebody that has an agency to do $1 a day for 3 of the softwares and upsell the rest. And so it's cool. I like that you have it separate like that too, because that gives us the ability to create our own offers. If it was under one central room, we wouldn't be able to do it. We wouldn't be able to say, well, here's this another cool offer that nobody else is doing. It's just going to be oh, it's all in the same thing. Kartra and BuilderAll. Yeah, so I like that. And good. This is good rebuttal, or not rebuttal, but good, parlay, so to speak.
And hey, James, man, love your enthusiasm, man.
What's that?
I said, James, love his enthusiasm.
Nah.
But
hey man, I get that on every call I'm on, brother. Hey, I appreciate that. And depending on what kind of product you got, man, I actually white label that enthusiasm.
No, that's good, man. Yeah, but just thinking because coming from the inner circle's point of view, right? I mean, obviously we're trying to help users and whatnot to be able to use the software, but it's important to keep it separate only because we want that protection as well. You know, from a business standpoint, if you put everything under one roof, if the customers come and go, you only got the one point of, I guess, bottleneck. But if we got it separate, if they leave one, you've still got others to sell, right? So that's the one thing. And also, I think from what John said a while ago as well, we want to have different products, and we probably have multiple of the one type of software, and to be able to compete against ourselves, right? And that's the way we're going to grow. So we can't sort of bundle everything into one, because if you do that, you've got that one sticky point, and if the one sticky point is broken, that's it, you're gone. So it's important to keep it separate at that point.
Well, think about it and think about Builderall's model. If they build a brand new software, are they going to be able to take any of their current clients and put them into that other software? No. Every single user is going to expect that new thing that they built is just going to be packaged in with everything else. They're not going to be able to launch a brand new software and then take their 100,000 or 500,000 customer list and go make more money from them over there, because they've already got them used to and accustomed that everything's right here. So now they're literally, if they do that, they're going to get so many complaints. Why is it not included in Builderall? Why is it not here with everything else? So. And our plan is we're going to keep making more and more softwares. That's the only way we keep our value. Like, how do we keep this infinite value ladder? We just keep producing more and more softwares and keep selling them more and more software. So can't put them all under one roof.
Yeah, and if it happens to be shit, which I really doubt, right, then you can just chuck it away and no one will know that it belongs to you. So you need that protection. Otherwise, Speaking about software as well, hey, John, you know how we've got the robo contact and, that generates us leads and whatnot, right? And a lot of people have different approaches with messaging. How easy is it to actually do an audit as well? So if you're actually finding all these business leads, right, how easy is it for us to build an audit so that we can message the prospective business owners with their problems with their websites and whatnot?
What do you mean by an audit? Like an audit of somebody's website?
So, for example, right, if you go to a website, right, because you're getting all your details, emails, names, all this sort of stuff from the websites, right, using RoboContact. So if you can do an audit on their website, saying, okay, you haven't got any chat box, you haven't got any sticker reviews to improve conversions, you haven't got any mobile, it's not been mobile optimized, it hasn't got any videos, all these different types of attributes that actually helps the user's website, so we can use as an approach. Is it easy to build?
Hard and cheap, easy and expensive. So
Say that again.
Hard and cheap, easy and expensive.
Right.
So we could go in and build out an entire automation platform to do all the audits, which we would build ourselves in quite an amount of time. It would be relatively cheap at the end of the day, considering we'll be building it and we'll be consuming that cost. Or we could do it relatively quickly, but it would be expensive, because we would do just like we do with the Google API. We'd pick a service provider, and then you would integrate with that service provider, and they're going to charge you like SEMrush. We could easily, and I've even thought about doing it and doing an SEMrush integration with RoboContact. So whenever you go find these people, SEMrush will give you a report of their keywords and create all that for you, and he can even send it out for you and do that complete SEO audit for you. But that would be expensive for for us. It would be expensive for the users, right? For them to actually go in, and because they'll have to pay the SEMrush, and that's like it's like $1,000 a month to get access to their API.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because that will just help with, because I was thinking about that. If you're going to approach someone, right, you're going to try to add value to them. So one way to do that is, okay, let's look at the website and see where they've gone wrong. But in order to do that, it's going to take labor, it's going to take time. Instead of spending that money on the VA or whatever else, right? And it's repetitive tasks. So if you can do that once, using a click of a button, then you've got that to send out to, heaps and heaps of people. So
sure, there's some part of it that we already plan on automating, like checking for the advertising pixels, checking for their SSL certificate. We could, checking for the tag manager. more stuff we could probably somewhat easily build as far as checking for metadata. I'm not an SEO expert or marketing expert myself, so Ankita, George is eating all your shit. I'm not a marketing expert or an SEO expert myself, so I would have to go in and actually look up on, you know, like all the rules to the SERP data and stuff like that, so we could build out automations to check to make sure that all that's properly implemented. But for sure, I totally see the value. I totally see the value in that, which is why we want to build out some of the basic stuff right now. You know, like the basic red flags that would be there right now, like, hey, you don't have redirect set, or you don't have social media pixel set.
That'd be so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be very, very, very valuable.
Hell yeah.
If you could just give me like 40 seconds, I just got to go pee real quick.
Are you kidding me? 40 seconds. I'm out of here.
I know, right? I got to get out. It's almost 7:30.
40 whole seconds. We've only been here for hours. I'm done. No, I'm just joking. No, this is good though. This is valuable, guys. Man, this is whew.
Yeah, we did definitely link up this week. Like I said, that meeting on Wednesday could be huge with all the presidents of the Marine Corps for each city.
Dude, I got a bunch of things going on, and one of my partners, man, we'll talk. I can't discuss a lot of things, but man, we'll talk. You said something about the Marine Corps, man. I've got some really amazing stuff going on in another dimension right now that I put on pause. That as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, ooh. Yeah, man, we got to talk, man, for sure. And Kevin, it's awesome to meet you, man. James, by the way.
You too, brother. Not a problem.
That's the best thing about all these, man. Like I'm a part of so many different like inner circles or round tables, and not just like the contact of John or the mentor that you have there, but the community. People like yourself and me and Shelly and everybody. I mean, everybody has so much to offer. Like, man, if we just like really just bullshitted more and got to know each other, you know, we need to have like a get together right over there in India. Like, we'll all just fly out and we'll just go have drinks and say it again.
Virtual get together.
There you go. Right. Yeah, we can have a huge mastermind. We'll have a great time, and we can just chat about and learn what everybody does. And man, wouldn't that be great?
Well, that is one of the main benefits you guys should be taking advantage of. Is, I mean, you guys are in a whole group of people, and obviously you can assume some of the caliber of people that you have. You got people who have, you know, $300, $500 a month worth of extra disposable income that they can spend on their own personal improvement. So it's a huge opportunity that you guys have to be able to network and meet and make connections with each other in your future. So.
Word. True that. True that.
Yeah, once we get that first revenue check, we'll just go over there to meet John and have that party at his new bar.
For sure.
Hey, as soon as he gets it, screw the check, man. As soon as you get it, everybody find a way to get there. And if not, we'll take pictures and send them back. Dude, as soon as you get ready, I'm there, brother. I just got to get my passport. I got to get my passport really bad.
Yeah, I don't have one either. I need 10 grand for that. The ex-wife has me on lockdown for fast child support. It's bull crap. I can't prove it, but I need 10 grand.
Hey, you know what, man? I'll go and I'll go live and video it. You'll see everything, just like John does.
I'll get that 10 grand. Once we get Roku TV Live Tier 5 going, that's it. That's it.
I'm ready.
Money in the bank.
I'm ready. Let's go. I'm coming.
I've got my passport. Anytime.
I'm already.
I got my passport.
Bring weed when you come.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm going to fly across, you got to have the weed when I get there.
I just bring it with you.
Yes.
No, that's not
how I behind y'all when I was scrolling.
Look, I fly back to the U.S. just to restock on weed. I literally fly back to the U.S. and bring like a pound of weed back with me whenever I come back.
You're great.
I'll mail it in peanut butter first.
Yes, smuggler. Here is not a smuggler here.
Hey, John, like I just have to notice that coming. I mean, like usually when that happens, it's not in a suitcase. They usually stick it in the what they call the prison pocket. You're not sticking a pound in the prison pocket, are you?
Oh yeah, yes.
Nice. No, I've got my method. So I've got my method. Usually, so what I do is I stuff it in deodorant. So I usually take all my deodorant apart and stuff it in deodorant. And I just put it in I got X-ray proof bag, and I just stick it in with, like, I always buy a lot of electronics. So I'll buy a whole bunch of electronics. And then as long as you put it, trust me, as long as you put that shit in your check-in bags.
So what's the story? Is it, I mean, can you not get it there?
Not good quality stuff unless you go up to the mountains. So if you go up to the mountains, then they don't have good weed though. They have good hash.
Yeah.
They make really good hash, but not good weed.
Right. So what's the story if you get caught with it?
But here or at the airport?
Well, either. Like, how much trouble? I'm a risk reward kind of guy.
So if you get caught with it here, that's not going to happen, because for you to get caught with it here, it means that a police officer would actually have to do something. And the cops over here, they don't like to do stuff. They just like to stand there. Like, literally, we were at the mall and watched a dude get his ass beat and kidnapped. Like, literally got his ass beat by 3 dudes and picked up and put in the back of the car and had the car shut, and they took off with him. And there was 3 cops standing, like, right there, just drinking tea, watching it, just not giving a shit.
Gang.
That's not reassuring.
Well, so the dude had done some really bad stuff to some chick. But
He's a bad guy.
There's a really low crime rate here. Indians are real passive, so they're very non-confrontational. They're very, very passive, laid-back people. So because there's not like any real crime here, the cops are just extremely lackadaisical, and they don't really do anything really.
So, but what is the consequence if you get busted for smoking weed?
Legal, isn't it? Pretty much legal. Right?
No.
The consequence for pretty much anything over here is pay some money to the person that is busting you.
Yeah.
Because
pay a little bit of money.
It's a third world country. So
that's always my curiosity. Like, what does it cost to get in trouble?
Yeah, you just
like, you're not gonna like hang me or cut off my hand or anything crazy.
No, they'll do that in Thailand. Thailand has a death penalty for drugs.
I understand that's a thing in places. I don't understand
Singapore, some Asian countries do, but even Thailand. I got caught with drugs in Thailand, and they just asked me for money. Give us some money. I just always tell them I don't have any. What?
Shelly won't get caught. Shelly won't get caught because
You don't do it. Exactly.
Yeah.
I just know I don't have money. I'm just like, I don't have money. Like, I don't have
money to buy the weed.
I just tell them I don't have money. Like, every time I get in trouble in a foreign country, I don't have money, call the Marines. Just call the embassy. Just call the embassy right now. I can't help you. And then they just get tired.
Because now you're a Facebook celebrity. I mean, you can go for ransom any moment. And all of them me up. So
we'll find,
especially when you have over your bank account.
So like, I'll fly to, outside the U.S., security isn't that bad. So like, I'll fly to Amsterdam and I'll stock up in Amsterdam, and then I'll just come back over here and don't even go through a security check. Like, it's not even a security check that happens. So I'm really comfortable every time I go to Amsterdam. I'm really comfortable.
Man, wouldn't it be nice when the whole world gets that like metaphorical stick out of their ass and it's just like globally acceptable, and there'll be no more prohibition, and people will be responsible, mature adults. Wouldn't that be great? I would love that.
Sure. Yeah. So I'd like to see one of two things happen. I'd either like to see the whole world legalize marijuana, or I would like to see them ban tomatoes and lettuce.
Yeah. It kills more people. It kills way more people.
Yeah, it's like either let everybody smoke weed or no more lettuce and tomatoes. Like, just take that.
The real devil's lettuce, romaine.
Lettuce. No one can have lettuce. Fuck it.
Yeah, bro. The real devil's lettuce is romaine, man.
My favorite, dude.
What's that?
That's my favorite.
Yeah, the devil's lettuce or romaine.
Yeah,
it's the least redeeming.
I like to char it.
You know romaine. Well, down here in Texas, romaine lettuce. Oh, I don't know. See, I forget about that. So down here in Texas, there was a huge recall. Like 3 or 4 people have died from eating romaine lettuce because they get like E. coli or something. I don't know, some crazy. So like, yeah, so it's like, it was like a whole bunch of like memes going around, like saying the real devil's lettuce was romaine. Yeah, romaine's good, but you know, marijuana is way better for you.
I've actually never used it. I know I sound prudish, but I've never used it.
Well, hey, guess what? If we throw like a mastermind get together of like all of the partners, and you come and hang around me, or it sounds like John, you're going to, even if you know you're contact from hell.
I'm not gonna lie, Shelly. I've literally contemplated so many times on like mixing LSD and some tea one day and just like giving it to all my employees and just
do it.
Of course, dosing to see what we come up with.
Dude, you'll create the matrix. Do it. You'll like you and all of your like team will create the matrix for real.
We give extraction to our monkeys.
Shut up. Don't say that.
Yeah.
My aversion to it is personal because when I was younger, I had like a bazillion surgeries. I have a genetic condition, and I was in and out of the hospital many times, and I was on morphine and Demerol and.
You need to try CBD.
I haven't.
CBD. Dr. Dre's CBD is the best.
I'm still on like a lot of medication, and
yeah, just get on CBD.
The idea of doing it when I'm on medication, I don't do well on medication. I foggy headed, and I just can't think straight, and I just don't want to do that to myself on purpose. So that's my aversion to it. I had enough of it with the medication I had to take, so I just don't do it to myself on purpose. That's all.
Dude, John, I had no idea you were into blockchain, dude. When I seen you were talking about that, like I just was working for a blockchain startup for like, 6 months ago I left, but I worked there for almost a year, and we did all kinds of cool stuff, man. We sold information, but you know, when you were talking about, I forget which coin you were talking about, but man, I was like, oh man, like I knew I liked you.
Zero. I'm not real big into crypto. I don't think crypto is going to be the savior of the world because it's not.
I think blockchain is. I think blockchain is, and I think some good crypto is going to. I think some good crypto is going to stick around for a long time.
The technology might be used for things like art, to identify art and the previous and current owners of art.
Medical records.
Yeah, things that are, you have to follow a chain of ownership with. I think that might be the value of
Fortnite. Does anybody know about V-Bucks? My kids love V-Bucks. They save up their allowance and buy V-Bucks. Fortnite and Ops. So talk about blockchain. You know, John, there's a company called Opskins. They sell all the different skins in Fortnite and stuff like that. Opskins is actually backed by a cryptocurrency that is called Wax or whatever, and Wax tokens and stuff. I don't believe that they're going to take it, but you know, one thing that I noticed is like V-Bucks and some of these like internet currencies are huge. And I think that's where crypto is going to go. I don't necessarily think it's going to like close the central monetary system necessarily, because of course not. Fuck no. But the government will allow that. But will it be used as an intermediary of sorts, just like banks are now? Sure, I think so. So I believe in some of the assets.
That's going to be your problem. I mean, your banks, like if you look at any of the cryptos, your banks can just go in. Like your banks can go in. They have the working capital to buy all the mining rigs out there. Whoever owns mining, that's who owns the fluctuation of the currency. So it's like right now, what happens to us is like why do you see all these big fluctuations in Bitcoin? Why is the shit dropping? You want to know if you want to know the reason that it's dropping?
Oh, I know. Yeah, sure.
The Chinese, because the Chinese have invested billions and billions of dollars building Amazon-sized super rigs in their country, and what they do is they go in and they mine Bitcoin, they mine OX, they mine LTC, and whenever they want, they literally just go into the room and they hit a power off switch. As soon as they hit the power off switch, that shit tanks. They sell their stuff off, they hit power off switch, shit tanks, they go in, let it tank, they go in and buy it up, they turn power switch back on, it goes back up in price, they take that profit and buy US bonds, and they're literally buying pieces of the US just by turning power on and off, because whoever owns the biggest computer owns the fluctuation of the.
Of course, and I agree with that 100%. And the smart people do things to make residual income with crypto, and not like putting it in Bitcoin tumblers, but like staking like a masternode, like proof of stake and proof of work. And dude, masternodes, dude, it doesn't matter what the market's doing. It doesn't matter if they shut the machines off and it goes to zero. If you're holding and staking a coin, and then you can just have more buying power, and you can run multiple nodes, and whenever it does go back up and everybody dumps in and institutional money gets back in, everybody FOMOs back in every other year during the bull run, you're still sitting smooth. So, I mean, there's ways around that. And you're right. That is how crypto's controlled. But man, there's a lot of things that are like, people know that now. That's why you can stake coins. That's why you're able to do. That's why every day there's a new masternode coming up. I think that's what's going to take over mining, because mining does give too much control over it. That was a fun conversation. I don't get to have that often.
But Shelly, here you go. You try this, it'll get you off all the meds. It's from Dr. Dre himself, and it's legal. You can order it online.
Yeah, I haven't done it yet. Probably the biggest thing that I deal with now, that I still have to take medication for is, and my camera keeps going blur. There we go. Well, it's still blur. There we go. But I had an amputation of my right leg above the knee about 4.5 years ago. And just this morning, I actually had really, really bad shocks, phantom pain. And what it is it just feels like somebody's tasing me, like somebody's taking a big tasing thing and going, and so this shock just shoots down my leg, and it usually ends up at like my big toe, and just shocks my big toe that's not there, of course. Last night, though, it was hitting me right at the back of my ankle. You know that tendon where you really don't want anybody to pinch that tendon on the back of your ankle?
Achilles tendon, yeah.
Achilles, yeah.
Yeah, it was shooting to that, and it was really, really painful. So there's a whole series of things that I do before I take my medicine, and that is massage and the TENS unit and a heating unit, and I take a hot bath. If none of that works, and I do like a meditation too to try to just, because all it is my brain acting wacky, and so I try to get control of the brain. But if none of that works, then I'll go ahead and take the medication that they gave me. But it's so strong when I take it that it's going to knock me out. It's going to make me fuzzy for a couple days, and I hate it. I hate it. So I just don't take it. So this morning I didn't take it. I just worked through it until it went away.
That's where that comes into play. But that pain you were feeling, I mean, I'm a spiritual guy. That came from the porthole from 1212, releasing a lot of energy. It put me down for 24 hours with a migraine. But that's what it was doing. It sends you waves of energy.
And it's funny because it comes in bursts, right? It's like a lightning bolt, and it will get me up out of my chair. I'll just be like, holy crap on a cracker. And then, like, as soon as it's over, it's done, and I got to wait till the next one hits. It's pretty funny, but it doesn't affect me very much. I deal with it. It gets bad maybe once or twice a month, maybe. If I let my stump get cold, then it gets really bad. It does not like to be cold. That's why I have a heating blanket and a little heating pad and all that kind of stuff to keep it warm. So I literally sit in my chair with a little heating pad wrapped around my little stump, keeping it warm. It's actually pretty funny. I have the cutest stump in the world, that's for sure. But but it's not that hard to deal with, really. And honestly, a lot of times, if I just put the prosthetic leg on and walk around, that actually works through most of it, and it works the pain out, and shocks aren't so bad. Every once in a while, though, I'll be walking and the shocks start, and that's really funny because it does look like somebody's tased me. I do a little bit.
Once you find a good product, especially if you can represent it, and you're already so great builder and all that. You'd be your own greatest case study, to be like, this has revolutionized my pain management and this, that, and the other. And man, that would be amazing.
It would be. I'm just on the fence about it still, right? It's a personal thing. It's just because.
No worries. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
I'm just saying it's CBD, so it's not like that, but it really helps. I was hurt pretty bad in the Marine Corps. So I couldn't handle the pain, but I couldn't handle all the meds either. Okay, I don't like to feel that way, groggy, knocking me out. As soon as I try
Right.
Dr. Dre's CBD oil, I mean, not that I take it that often, but whenever I feel some pain or whatever, that's what I take. And you can do pills or oil, and the oil seems to work better, you know, because it hits your system faster.
Have y'all
And it's
ever
legal.
seen? Have y'all ever seen Half Baked? When you keep saying Dr. Dre, it reminds me of like going to see Samson. Like, I want to see Samson. You're like, I got everything changed as soon as I got Dr. Dre.
Yeah, it's that honestly, it's just a personal decision. It's not a judgment on anybody. It's just a personal thing.
No, I hear you. I'm just letting you know, though, it's a better way, because they don't get that clogginess.
I've been leaning towards when it gets cold like this. When I'm in Mississippi, so it's not like bad cold yet. January it will get bad cold, and when it gets bad cold, I think really hard about that stuff because that's when I have the shocks the worst. And it's like, man, I just can't live like this. I can't do this. But I'm hard-headed. I can stand a lot of pain because I've been through so much. So I hadn't moved there yet. I hadn't gone there yet.
I'm super sorry to hear what you have going on, and good for you for managing it so well.
Thank you. It actually is not that big of a deal, honestly. The leg was so bad before the amputation that I'm the one that actually went to the doctor and said, "Can we amputate, please?" And they fought tooth and nail to keep the leg, and I fought tooth and nail to cut it off. And I kept telling them, if you don't cut it off, I've watched enough YouTube videos. I will do it myself.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my God.
Have you ever read Expert Secrets, Shelley?
Do it now?
Have you ever read Expert Secrets?
Yeah, I have the book. Yeah.
Yeah, man, you got such an amazing story.
Well, it was funny because the day of the amputation, I was actually ready, right? I'm like, let's go, let's get this done. I'm so ready. And the doctor was like, I'm not sure you understand what you're going through. And I just looked at him and said, I'm not sure you understand what I've been through. And so we just kind of, had a meeting of the minds that it had to happen. And
I wonder how many people have gone through that exact thing you just described, and how many people maybe are about to go through that, and you could provide them a little bit of comfort because they may not have the same courage you had. I wonder how many lives you could change just by that story right there that you just told us.
Yeah,
super good.
It is pretty amazing, I think. Yeah, but I don't consider myself anything but selfish. I wanted that leg gone because it was hurting, and after the surgery, I was actually in recovery, and I was a little sick, right, because my tummy was rolling a little bit. But after a few times, I was sitting up, and that same nurse kept going by my bed, and every time he'd go by, even puking, I'd just go, hi. And he'd just kind of turn around and go, hi. And about like the 8th time that he passed my bed, he said, did you have surgery today? And I said, I sure did. And he said, what'd you have done? And I said, I had my right leg amputated above the knee. And he goes, no way. And I said, yep, I sure did. And I said, can you come here a minute? Because I'm going to uncover my stump. And I really want somebody here while I'm doing it, just for moral support. And he said, okay. So he comes up to the top of my bed, and I'm like, all right, 1, 2, 3. And I threw the covers off, and I looked at it, and I went, oh my God, that's the cutest stump I have ever seen. I pass out. And my doctor walks up at that time, and he goes, Shelley, are you torturing my nurse? And I'm like, yes, I am. So it's been fun ever since. We had
what an amazing story.
Well, we had a naming contest for my prosthetic leg. We decided, we knew we were going to name it, and my husband wouldn't let me have a funeral for the actual leg, and they wouldn't let me. That was really disappointing. But so we had a contest to name the new leg. And we had a lot of people. I was a high school biology teacher then, so my students contributed, everybody. But my son actually came up with the best name. So the name of my prosthetic leg now is Murphy, and he's named after RoboCop. That was RoboCop's name before he became RoboCop. And then whenever I get my loaner leg, because I have a really sophisticated leg that doesn't always work, so every once in a while I have to go get a loaner leg, and the loaner leg is always called Eileen because she always makes me lean a little bit to the right.
I like the puns. You're hilarious, Lily. Some would say funny even.
Get Eileen.
So I have way too much fun. And and let me tell you, the number one benefit of being an amputee, there's so many benefits. The number one benefit is half price pedicures.
Oh, man, she's got her own jokes. That's awesome. I love that. That's hilarious. I've never thought about that. And is there an amputee joke book? Now you get like an upsell or a tripwire.
I'll tell you what, if you come down to the Keys, I could use a pedicure and I'll buy for all of us.
That'll work. Every time I walk into my hair salon that does my hair, nails, and my half price pedicure, every time I walk in, they're like, Shelly, you coming in for a half price pedicure? And you know, if they don't know me, they're just like, woo! And I'm just like,
that's awesome.
No, it's cool. Yeah, really. That's great. Well, amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Because we couldn't tell.
Actually, I just got done doing an event in Memphis, and I don't know why. I mean, I didn't tell anybody there. It seems to me that everybody knows, right? So I just don't hardly even say it anymore. And I was eating lunch with one of the ladies that was at the event, and I said something about Murphy, and I was like, Murphy, so and so, and she goes, what? Who's Murphy? And I said, Murphy, my prosthetic leg, and she was like, no, wait a minute. You have a prosthetic leg? And she didn't even know at that point. And I'm like, thank you.
Do you ever mess with people? Like I can't help but think if I was in that situation, I would fuck with people real hard. I did slamming the door like, oh my God. Oh, just playing, just kidding, guys.
One time I did, I was walking in a Walmart, and there were some kids that were like 3 of them inside a cart and 2 bigger ones that were outside of the cart. And the kids are fascinated with the leg, right? Oh my God, look, Mom, she's got a robot leg. It's actually really cool. So I'm always, I always answer questions. I never make it a big deal, right? If you got a question, I'm going to answer it. So they were like, oh my gosh, you have a robot leg. How'd you get a robot leg? And I said, well, you know, I went to Hawaii and I was swimming with the sharks. And I couldn't believe it, but one of those up and like bit my leg off. And the look on their faces, honestly, I was like, oh my God, no.
I have 100 different stories. Everybody that see me would get a different story. It would turn into like a meme or a gag thing. You know, I would never have the same story. Be like, you know, I got eaten off by an alligator, or you know, I was trampled by like.
The shock on their faces, though, I mean, I shocked them deeply, and then my little brain was rolling because I'm a high school biology teacher, right? So I was thinking, oh my God, I've scarred them for life on ever going into the ocean. So I decided never again. I would never tell that story again. So I just tell them the truth. You know, it was a bad leg. We had to get it cut off. I don't want to scar small children for the rest of their lives. That's not cool. So. But I have done funny things. It's funny sometimes you forget that you have an amputation. And just recently I was in my kitchen and I was cooking dinner, and when I looked down, I wasn't wearing Murphy yet. I was just kind of hopping in the kitchen. And when I looked down, I felt something on my left foot, and it was a fly. A fly was on it. And you know, normally when you got 2 feet, you just kind of move your foot over and kind of swoosh it away. Well, I moved my foot over, but my foot wasn't there. The fly stayed on my foot. So yeah, I do stupid stuff like that every day, forgetting that I've had an amputation. The only thing that I haven't done is the doctors warned me that it's not unusual for people that have an amputation that they get up at night to go to the bathroom and they forget. And they'll get up out of the bed and start walking, and of course take a nosedive into the floor. And I have not done that yet. That's one of the few things that I haven't done, but I've done a lot of other stupid things.
I I
It's
have
all fun.
2 legs and I've done that. Get up in the middle of the
night. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just, yeah, completely forget that I'm walking. Yeah, I've done that.
I've got some stories. I've actually written a book, and it's going to be released very, very soon. I've got 6 books published, but the 7th book will be Living with Murphy is the name of it. And it's just stories about my childhood and about what I went through with all the going to the hospital a bunch of times and having surgery and my experience, and then getting the prosthetic leg and kind of the mindset that I had going into that. And I'm super about that one because it's a personal story. So that's coming out probably January, maybe a little bit later than that because I'm still building it. But it's written, but I have to just edit and all that. But I do have 6 other books that I've done.
How old were you when you gave up your leg?
It was just 4.5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so it wasn't that long ago.
Sorry, thank you for sharing it.
Yeah, I'll tell you that the biggest thing I was proud of was I had never done anything like a 5K before the amputation. I had been skydiving. I really did go swimming with sharks, zip lining. I love all that kind of stuff. And after the amputation, my first goal was to do a 5K. And so literally while I was healing, I took my, those rolling walkers. I took my rolling walker outside and pushed it and hopped and pushed it and hopped all the way around my neighborhood to make sure I stayed in condition so that when I got my leg, I could choose to do a 5K. So I did that the whole time while I was waiting to get the leg. I even got a really bad infection and still did it every day to make sure I stayed strong. And so it ended up that it took me almost like 9 or 10 months to get the leg. And then once I got it, 2 months later, almost a year to the date of the amputation, I actually did 5K for the first time in my life and finished.
That's amazing. Because
yeah, it was crazy.
And I couldn't do a 5K yesterday.
Oh my God, I was so excited when I did it. I was so tired though, and I was almost ready to quit. And I couldn't see where the finish line was because we were doing it like through a neighborhood. It was a sanctioned 5K, and they routed us through a neighborhood to do it. And so you couldn't see where the finish line was because of housing stuff. So I kept thinking, oh my God, I'm not going to make it to the end. And I was so tired, and I was concentrating on my feet, just putting one foot in front of the other. That's all I was doing. It was so,
yeah.
It was so hot that I had to stop about every quarter of a mile because my foot, actually because I was sweating so bad and it's in there by suction, the foot on my prosthetic leg would turn sideways. So I'd have to like take it and spin it back around so I'd face the front.
Oh.
So funny, but I was determined. I was gonna do that 5K.
That's not funny. That's terrible. I'm sorry. You're amazing. Congratulations.
They were driving behind me and literally picking up the cones because I was last one, but they were really supportive, right?
Oh,
and just about ready to tell them, hey, I'm jumping in, you drive me the rest of the way. And I saw my husband. He had walked from the finish line about a quarter of a mile back, and he said, don't talk, because he knew I was exhausted. He said, don't talk, you're all there, just keep on walking. That's all I needed. I made it to the end and crossed the finish line.
You strike me as an amazing person. Thank you for sharing that with us.
It's pretty cool. I'm excited that I did it. The next one is a 10K.
Oh, cut it out. When is that coming up?
Well, now that it's cold, I can start planning.
Well, let's go to Florida. I'm sure there's something here that would be fun.
I'm sure.
Sunshine. So what else, boys and girls? Other stuff you want to talk about while we're here? I know we're all having a great time.
Now you guys know my whole story, so.
John, I did have a question, if you don't mind. You've talked about the ownership positions that a couple people have taken in softwares, and I'm curious to know more about that opportunity and how that works, and
That's so that's like a job.
I like jobs.
We haven't we haven't worked out the complete monetary benefits, but what we've been talking about is essentially there will be some additional monetary benefits. And you know what would be awesome? If you guys could just chit chat for 3 more minutes, and I'll finish my cigarette because it's my last one, and then I'll dive into this. So if you guys just chit chat for like 3 more minutes.
He's like, I'm not wasting my breath. I got precious cancer to puff here.
Hey, we don't have to do this tonight. I know how you hate it when we're all quiet, so I like to come up with stuff. You know.
Yeah, we talk, and his mind's over there thinking of ways to monetize what we're saying, bro. Marketer in disguise as a genius software developer.
Well, it is like a job, Kristen. So haven't figured out exactly what the terms will be, how you guys get paid for it. But what I've thought about so far is essentially what you would get a percentage. You wouldn't get additional revenue shares, but you would get like an off the top. And it's gonna be more long term because obviously first we got to get the community members. But I've been thinking that you guys would get a percentage of the revenue from the particular product that you own. So you would get some revenue from that product that you own, like 5% or 10% of the total revenue that comes in for that product before we distribute out to partners. Or we would work out like a fixed rate. At the beginning, it's kind of like a non-paid thing, but it is like you could think of it as another job. And I'll be explaining to you like kind of all that's involved in it because it's kind of like a.
That's what I'm curious about. I mean, I'm not about the game necessarily. I don't know if you recall when I did my entrance interview. It was my reason for being here is that I love software as a service. I'm fascinated by it. I embrace it as what I want to do when I grow up, and that's why I'm here. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm pretty sure I'm not an adult yet, but I hope to be any minute. And I'm looking to replace some real income from the businesses that I've exited. So, you know, I have been a real adult. But the software as a service concept has always been my dream since I was the first guy putting up a web page in the 90s. And I got sidetracked by being in real business. But it gave me a experience.
There's only one business model that's better than SaaS, and that's being a government. The only business model that's better than SaaS is being a government. So. So
I'm quitting the government. So that's I'm coming to live with you guys.
So there is a concept. You should look it up. You can Google it. But there is a concept of a product owner in the software development world. All right. So if you know anything about software development practices and if you know anything about Scrum methodology, there's a concept of a product owner. They are essentially the mediator between the clients and the dev team. All right. So they are the people who understand all the functional requirements, how things need to work. They define the business logic, and they schedule, prioritize, and lead the development team to actually building out those features and functions. Right. So our product owners for Tier 1 are not limited to that definition of a role. There's a lot more that they do. All right. So our product owners have to fulfill the traditional product owner role, like Dennis. Dennis has a weekly meeting with the Text and Bulk team. Talks about what new features should be, talks about what the competitors are doing, what users are saying about the software, what changes we need to make, and prioritizes what the developers should actually be working on and plans out the roadmap for the future softwares. All right. That's what a typical and traditional product owner does. That's what they're in charge of. They lead the development team. They're the person that's correlating with the project manager or the team leaders and making sure that the dev team is on track to meet their targets, to meet their deadlines, to implement new features, and really mapping out what those things look like as far as business requirements. Our product owners kind of go over and above that. So I'm almost done.
I didn't mean to.
He's like, I'm almost done fucking you guys.
So
No, that's a serious role. I get it. That's cool.
it's your job to do all that, but it's also your job to evaluate the marketplace, see what competitors are doing, see what their price points are, to make sure that we're competitively priced, to make sure that no one comes in and eats our fucking cookies. We don't ever want anybody to come in and eat our fucking cookies. We want to be eating everybody else's cookies, all right? So it's your job to always looking out into the marketplace, seeing what other people are doing, what they're offering, how we can improve on their software, what competitive edges we can have on them, whether it's pricing, whether it's features. Then you're kind of the mediator between us as a development firm and a dev team and our users, what our actual users want. So it's not only are you supposed to look out in the marketplace and see what the market is providing, you also need to have the users' ears and see what the users want and what will make the users happy. You know, maybe the marketplace has just implemented all these new features, but the users just want, you know, a sorting functionality. And if we could just give them a sorting functionality, that would make them so happy, all right? So it's kind of your job.
Right, they want the expensive feature, you know, the valuable one.
Sure, and I can teach you all that because I've been doing that for years and years. There's actually a really easy method that we plot out, like how I figure out what feature that, like I get 100 feature requests every day, and you guys see how much we build and how many features that we build out, and every one of them I put through the same process. I look and I see what is the benefit to the user on one axis and what is the time complexity on another axis. And things that are low time, high benefit are the first things that we do. Things that are high time, high benefit, or low time, low benefit are the next things that, and we kind of just gauge between those guys because they have low time, low benefit, high time, high benefit has equal value. They kind of just are the same thing. They both, let's say, evaluate to one. Things that are high benefit, high time, low value, those are X. We never fucking build that way. We'll never build that if a million people ask for it because it's a high time and not a large benefit that users are going to get from that. So it's called a pie chart. So not only do you have to do all that, you also kind of have to make sure that our positioning in the market, you're not necessarily. So I call you. I call product owners the person to yell at. You're not necessarily the person that does everything, but you're the person that gets yelled at. So if I go look at the product and I see somebody else eating our cookies, then I yell at the product owner and ask them, what the fuck are you doing? I mean, it's your job. It's not your job to make sure, it's not your job to write the content, but it's your job to make sure that we have good content that sells. It's not your job to design the funnel. It's your job to make sure we have
I think I've done this job before, but I used to call it a stress absorber.
I've done it too. It's called biz dev for me.
So
you're the shock absorber between the customer and the product, basically.
Also the affiliates. So the affiliates, like look at every affiliate out there. Like affiliate marketers are lazy as fuck. Watch them. They look at what ClickFunnels does, and I'm sure Builderall does it now too. They give scripts. They give banner ads. And you can tell because whenever they run a new promotion, you look on Facebook and everybody posts the exact same fucking shit because the average affiliate marketer is lazy as fuck. They don't want to do anything.
Well, that's why their fallout is so hard. I mean, try to retain 25% of the people you recruit.
They don't want to write their own content. They don't want to create their own images. So
they don't want to run their own business. I mean,
sure. You know. But still, they make sales. They bring in customers. So you got to facilitate them. You got to make sure that they have the tools that they need.
I just got a product that I put on the Builderall marketplace that Builderall's getting ready to promote for me. And I provided them all the graphics for the affiliates. I gave them 7 email swipes, everything that they needed to do the, built the sales page. So they use their affiliate IDs. The sales page is done. Gave them graphics, gave them email swipes. So
John, I got a bunch of that. Now I can.
But then what happened? Did they use it? Yeah.
You got what?
I was saying I have a bunch of graphics that I made for Tier 5. I'm getting a weird echo because I've logged in twice on my phone. Anyways, man, I built a whole bunch of graphics for Tier 5 that I would love to drop, and I've got some email swipes too, man, that I've been successful with. Man, why I got?
because you're connected twice. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, turn your volume way down on your speaker, and that'll help.
So you got to make sure the affiliates have everything that they need to be successful. So as much shit that they have to be, you're in charge of making sure that that product is a big fat fucking cash cow. That's your job. Everything. So you're a single. Now, does that mean you have to do everything? No, it doesn't mean that you have to do everything. But it does mean that you're the responsible person that looks over everything. All right. So like right now we got Dennis, Paul, and Maceo. So Dennis handles text and bulk. Maceo handles, and he hasn't really actually been formally introduced. He handles RoboContact, and then Paul handles Link Wizard. So it's kind of, and as long as you guys can do a good job, I just kind of let you be and let you do your thing. I mean, it's kind of up to you guys to map out where is this product going. You know, it's like, where should it, I mean, I think one of the things that people love about Tier 5 is the rate at which we develop stuff, the rate at which we release new features and we make changes. And when they look at all the other softwares that they're a part of, it's like you wait 6 months, you don't see an update in ClickFunnels. Like 6 months you go by and they don't actually update anything, even though they have a huge fucking bankroll where they could be updating constantly, right? So that for me to keep people interested and to keep a buzz and to keep people talking and to stay relevant, you always have to be releasing new features. You always have to show, like the second that we take a software and we stop actually updating it and stop adding stuff to it, the user base feels that it becomes to get this like a stagnant little pool of water that, you know, this is the best that it's ever going to get. It's not going to improve. It's not going to get any better. So now at that point, they start to look for competitors. They start to look for the next guy who's trying to eat our cookies to see, okay, are they going to do anything better? Are they going to have any different things? So for us, for our success, and I already have it mapped out, that every software will have to leave at least one resource in that software to constantly add stuff, you know, and have a schedule where at least once a month those softwares get a new feature, whether and it could be something as simple as a little UI tweak or something as simple as, you know, a sorting functionality on a table, just something new that a user sees that you can even use as an advertisement, or you can use as an email, like, hey, we just released this, to get people back into the software. So you're kind of in charge of that, scheduling that out, making sure that there's always something that is going to be released out into the future, and making sure that our users are still loving the software and no one else is creeping up behind us doing what we're doing better or doing what we're doing at the same or lesser rate at a lower price, and make sure that we're always have some type of competitive edge in the market. Like I said, it's a job. It's definitely a job. It's totally doable because I do it for 7 products. So, and I build robots while I'm doing it. Literally, I'll be planning stuff out while I'm building a robot.
That's funny. And I build an Iron Man suit. One day you'll build an Iron Man suit.
For sure. When I went to IndiaSoft, when I went to IndiaSoft, when I first came over here, I got a job offer from the Nigerian government to make manned quadcopters for them. They asked me to come to their country and actually build quadcopters that people could drive around in for their military.
Yeah, that's badass, man.
Scary shit.
I'm working on a project that's doing something like that. I'm working on a project. Dude has a military classification. He's doing drone surveillance with drones that are armed, you know, patrolling like military bases and other facilities and stuff like that. It's a pretty big growing market. And I just took him on as a client. He's pretty out there to say the least, but he's a good guy.
Well, drones are cool for sure. That's what paid most of my college. So while I was in college, that's what paid most of it, was me doing drone stuff, doing pose and making drones. I had the first robot that I made was literally this. It was literally this exact same. His name was Doug. It was literally this exact same chassis right here. And he had a little Raspberry Pi, he had a little Raspberry Pi installed on him, and he had the ARM version of Kali Linux on him. And literally what he would do is just go through and hack into people's phones, and like he would just go in, he would just drive around all by himself. He would drive around the whole computer science, like the whole bottom basement of the computer science, and he would just constantly run Bluetooth scans, and everybody that had Bluetooth on, he would just automatically hack into their phone, pull down all their pictures, pull down all their contacts. He really liked to, when I say he, I mean me, because he didn't have his own brain, but he really liked to, he really liked to just kill everybody's internet. So he would go off and just always, like if he was around you, you couldn't connect to Wi-Fi on your phone at all, because he would just always be disconnecting you to Wi-Fi. So, but that's how I paid. That's how I paid most of my college, was building robots and doing stuff on Pose, because Pose is a really, for whenever it comes to drones, something that the government's really, really interested in, because of Pose is it's a very important thing for robotics, is to calculate the actual position relative to a home position of a robot, where he's actually at. And the more that your robot ventures out into the world, the more he moves, the harder it is to calculate the pose because of dirty data. So
yeah, Amazon has that same problem, actually, because they talked about that's the reason why drone delivery will never be scalable, just because of the fact, not only like FAA regulations, but like you just said, dirty data, Google Maps and all that, so it would never be a thing. It's only a thing for like the elite in certain products. But yeah, that's super awesome. Dude, you can like geek out, man. Like we definitely got to hold some kind of mastermind, get together. We can become best friends over a couple beers and maybe the other questionable things.
I don't drink alcohol, but
oh, that's good. Well, we can smoke. That's cool. I'm totally down.
Sure, I just don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. My alcohol days are long gone.
No, that's good. I'm a social drinker. So I'm a networking guy. I build bonds and I do marketing. So I'll do anything once, as long as it's to make a friend or get a sell, which is the same thing.
I'm a drunk drinker, so if I drink, I'm drunk. Like I don't drink socially. If I drink to get drunk, and I'm gonna get drunk.
Yeah.
Drunk. So
yeah, totally. To each its own. Well, either way, dude, we would have a blast just over a couple bongs and maybe a good dab, or two.
For sure,
dude. This has been really fun. Not only informative, but fun getting to know everybody.
That's the whole reason we want to have. That's the whole reason I want to have an electronics lab here, because really a lot of the future of tech is bringing the hardware component into your house and making things smarter. It's like right now there's a company that's $1 billion company, and like literally all it is. It's a fucking thermometer inside a frying pan. Literally, that's it. It's a mobile app and a thermometer inside a fucking frying pan. There's a battery in the handle, and it's just the battery in the handle runs all the way, and inside the frying pan they've got like 3 thermometers, and then like you just get into the app and you say, okay, what do I want to cook, and you just put in what you want to cook, and then you put it on the stove, and then the app measures the temperature of your frying pan, and so it knows the temperature of your food, and then it just has a timer and it's like flip your chicken, and then you just go flip your chicken. So now,
or have a robot do it. It tells the robot to do it.
Now the state of technology, though, is like you can take that smart frying pan and you can extend that out and pair it with the smart stove. So now not only, I could literally go into each stove, especially now that they're electric, and make a little modification in those stoves, because they're electric, and it's an electric coil that's charging the heat, where I can go in and now your best cooks, if you watch the best cooks in the world, they methodically, at each stage of cooking, they have a specific temperature for each stage of cooking an item. So now you could literally turn almost anybody into a master chef, because you take the smart frying pan and you stick that smart frying pan on your stove. You say, this is what I want to cook. Your stove's a smart stove, so it can literally, whenever it senses, okay, your thing needs to drop 15 degrees in temperature now for the next 3 minutes, your stove can just lower its own temperature. So that, like, literally a lot of the future of technology is this whole IoT world, and making like I have an extensive plan for. It would take money, but I've drawn a couple of them out. But I have an extensive plan for something that I think would be like literally easily $1 billion company, and they're streetlights. They're fucking streetlights that are aesthetically pleasing. All right, because that's the modern age. Right now, almost every streetlight
Back to the Future.
It's ugly. They're ugly. There's so much value to aesthetics, right? It's like you think like all the movies that you watch of these super smart people and these perfect utopias, everything about those cities and the environments is an aesthetically pleasing thing. And if you look at places that are efficient, they're aesthetically pleasing as well, right? So the more aesthetically pleasing an environment is, like if you look at some of the most expensive places in the world in office spaces, everything's aesthetically pleasing, everything's symmetrical, everything's has clean open spot. Why? Because that leads productivity. The more aesthetically pleasing something is, the higher the productivity that you boost. So right now, streetlights are so ugly. There's no design to streetlights. They're all the same.
Well, they haven't changed in 50 or more years, probably.
Sure. So I want to, I've designed these little streetlights that kind of look like trees. They all just kind of look like trees. And on the trees, the leaves are essentially they're power generators. So the leaves are just like these little fans that the whole tree can spin around with the wind. And then as that tree spins around, so can those little individual leaves. They can just spin around with the wind and generate electricity. They can all talk to each other, so each streetlight can pass data to each other. They'll be coated with a reflective solar panel so that they can actually take energy from the sun. They can take energy from the wind, and they can generate enough energy to run a camera, to run a weather station, and to provide obviously the street light. But then my thought was, since you're going to have a net decrease in energy, you could take on each one of these guys and you could put like a small little computer, like a Raspberry Pi. And if you think the average subdivision, they're going to put in 2,000 streetlights, right? So if you have little computers that are Raspberry Pis, then during the day when you're generating all this energy, you could take that energy, you could run that Raspberry Pi, and if you got 2,000, 4,000 streetlights, you can turn that into what? A Beowulf cluster, and you can mine crypto, right? So now, so now your subdivisions are going to come in. They're going to buy these streetlights from you because they're the rich subdivisions will buy them for sure because they're beautiful. They're aesthetically pleasing. They're not just your average ugly streetlight. Plus, they provide weather. Plus, they provide, they provide temperature, they provide humidity, they provide moisture, they provide an additional layer of security with a camera there. They generate their own electricity, and then you just embed a little machine and then you could fucking just be having, like, you think a city is going to have 100,000 streetlights. That's a Beowulf cluster of 100,000 nodes that can just sit, and in their off time, they can mine a little bit of coin, and they themselves are going to actually generate electricity. You're going to make, and you don't have to pay any for that because you're going to get paid by the people who buy the streetlights. They're going to buy the streetlights from you. They're going to pay you to maintain them, and then you're also going to make, you would start to make hell of a lot of money just distributing them out with just a small amount, just something like a Raspberry Pi. But that's where a lot of the future technology is in the hardware.
So, dude, and I figured it out. I worked it out. You said in the beginning, the only thing that stops you is just money, but we got all the money in the world. Like, dude, what you just said, like governments, cities, major corporations, dude, like eventually, like, dude, at the gas pump, dude, I see commercials. Like, eventually you can have advertising on shit like this while people are waiting at crosswalks. Like, dude, we already have all the money to do this, man. All we got to do is put this down on an offer and find angel investors or find somebody we can pitch it to that would fund this. Like, dude, that's like what you just said right there is like is a really lucrative model. Like, you're right. That's like the future of how people are going to be interacting. Like Crime Watch. Dude, and like the government's already doing a social scoring program where, like, everybody's, you know, face and everything about them is being recorded into a database. Nico!
What's up, Nico?
Yeah,
what
but
the
dude,
hell
like,
you guys doing? What are you guys, 3 hours? What have you guys been doing? What's up?
partying, bro. Where you been?
I was napping. Napping. Oh, shit. Let's catch up. What's up, John? What's up, guys? What's up, man?
Conspiring to take over the world is all, man.
One program at a time.
Pinky in the brain, bro.
Yeah.
My ideals don't run out. I've got so many things that we could create. Lots of them, but lots of them are a mixture of software,
Sure.
and hardware. I invested in these things called SMO beacons. And they've been in manufacturing for 2 years.
Proximity beacons?
Yeah, but I bought the when they first released them, they have these things called estimate mirrors. All right, they've been in manufacturing for 2.5 years now. I know if I hired 2 dudes here, we could prototype them and actually ship them out in like 6 months. And they're proximity beacons that they have a small amount of embedded memory. They plug into an HDMI port, so you can literally take now any monitor whatsoever, and you can plug in this proximity. They haven't released them. Like I said, they've been in development for 2.5 years. They probably will never release them. But the whole concept now brings in completely, and this would take the marketing world by storm because it brings in contextual.
Yeah.
Like right now you go to a mall, and if you're lucky, that mall you have a high-tech display, and they spam out fucking ads to
yeah.
Right? They're spamming out a breastfeeding ad to dudes to fucking guys that are in their 30s that don't fucking care about
right?
So they waste so much of their ad reel to you because why? They don't know who's in front of their display. Well, if you have something like a proximity beacon that can plug into the HDMI port and you can run your standardized ad feed, you know, like they do right now, but then whenever somebody is coming close to your display, you can recognize who they are, tie into their social data, understand the things that they like and dislike from all their social data. You can actually now create contextual-based advertisings where you know the dude likes Nike and the dude likes Anheuser-Busch. So you can actually now merge a Nike and Anheuser-Busch commercial together contextually that's going to be more effective to that dude. If that dude...
It's like a funnel.
Sure. If that, like you think right now, all right? If you have a beer commercial and you have a gay guy and a straight guy, and you show the same beer commercial of a guy around a group of chicks with, you know, slutty clothes on, that appeals to the straight guy. The gay guy gets turned off by that. So if you now can have a contextual ad that can go in and on the fly actually that ad, then you can appeal to everybody, right? You can go in and you know, okay, this dude's homosexual, so when we show him the beer ad, let's just show that dude with a group of guys, right? Because that's going to have a higher appeal to that dude's psyche than the other dude, and you don't want to turn that other dude off. Right now, there's no way to do it because there's no context in advertising. That's like the next wave in marketing is to have real contextual-based advertising. To do that, you have to identify where people are at, and you have to identify that people are, they've already done it to some extent, because in some places what they do is they'll put a camera on the monitor and they'll monitor people's interaction. They'll look and see what people are actually looking at and people are actually paying attention. But all they do is they use that to gauge responsiveness to an ad to see if an ad is actually responsive or not. But they don't do any real contextual-based advertisement so that they can actually put a context behind their ad. They just spam it out and they hope, just like a billboard. Like, who uses billboards today? Nobody really uses them anymore because they're not fucking efficient. You're spamming the same ad out to a huge, diverse audience, and that shit doesn't work anymore. So then that's the next wave of advertisements, is real contextual-based advert. And there's a lot of commercial applications. There's a huge amount of commercial applications as well, because you can tie those little beacons with smaller beacons, so you can have something where, and those small beacons are cheap as fuck. Those small beacons, you can get them down to like a penny to buy them. So essentially what you can do is you could put one of those little beacons on this thing, and then you've got a display monitor that's just showing a bunch of different ads, and somebody comes up and they pick this thing up, and because they picked this thing up, you can actually realize that it moved, and now your screen can actually show your ads for this, the nutritional information or whatever your ad for this is, to give a higher level of reinforcement for your guy to actually buy this.
Sure, yeah, right. Dude, that's so awesome too. And machine learning, dude, like your targeting could just be like super laser focused.
Well, over here, there's a big need for it. Like over here, we started building a platform. We started building it for one of our clients, and then he ran out of money. But over here, like if you come over here and shop, the shopping experience over here versus the shopping experience in a first world country, it's fucking horrible. It's like I hate going shopping over here because I know it's like going to Walmart. It's like, you know, it's going to be like a 2-hour ordeal because you're going to shop, and then once you're done shopping, you're going to sit and wait for 30-45 minutes to go through the checkout process, right? So with these little beacons, and you can get them so cheap, they're just RFID tags. With these things, you can actually, what you could do is you could revolutionize the entire shopping industry, especially stores like Walmart and stores like Kroger, these grocery stores, because one, you can alleviate all your training, right? You don't have to train anybody at all on stocking stuff up, because you have a beacon on your shelf where stuff goes, and like you have little sections on your shelf. This is where the green beans go. This is where that goes. All right. Now each one of those little cans, they have just a thing that's a penny. That's a little location beacon, so that a person knows exactly where to take that at. Now that automatically does inventory. You save all your money having, stores spend so much money actually just having to go do physical inventory and count physical inventory. It's a huge process for it. If you add these little identifiers on your thing, you can at any time, you can know how many things are sitting on my shelf right now. Do I need to restock? If I need to restock, I just send a notification and an app to go in and tell that dude to bring this thing over to this area. Now, on top of that,
something similar to that. Walmart has something similar to that. It's called a smart system, and every time they sell something, with the barcode, it's once one scanned out the register, it puts like a skid number on that barcode, and there's a certain amount of quota. So once it falls to below a certain level, then it'll like let the smart system know, like, hey, we need to order this. So it'll be on a pick cart rather than buying like 4 boxes or a pallet. You're just getting a pick cart or something like that. But, yeah, that's amazing though, because nobody else uses it besides them. That's something that has application in every form of life.
But if you have a little RFID tag on them, you can instantly know that you've got 3 cans of peas and cosmetics that somebody's picked up taken in. It makes you reorganizing your store. And on top of that, you take, like, you've seen these little shopping list apps that people install with all the stuff that they need to buy at the grocery store. All right. So you create an app like that for your grocery store, for Walmart. Let Walmart have their little shopping list. Now what? You know everything that the person needs. Now they come into the store, you can literally plot their fastest route to go get everything, because you know where everything is at in the store, no matter how often you change it. Not only that, you can look and say, okay, what all's on your list? Where are you going? And I can walk you, I can literally tell you, go this way, go that way, to get you to go past all the things that correlate with what's on your shopping cart. Because I know you've got tomatoes and pasta in there. Well, you could probably use spaghetti sauce even though it's not on your list. So I'm not going to tell you, hey, buy spaghetti sauce. But whenever I route you to the store and say, hey, first go over here, then go over here, I'm going to purposely route you right through the spaghetti aisle so it hits you and you yourself make the conscious decision, oh yeah, I need this too. All right. And then on top of that, like what I wanted to do over here, because I hate the checkout process so much.
Too. Like somebody buying spaghetti, you can trigger that with upsells. Like they might have gone there and they had spaghetti on their list, but they may have not thought to put mushrooms, onions, and all that. And you can like have that buy there and be like, you know, that's a smart idea too. Like from a marketing standpoint, it gives people like that want to like, hey, I can run my, you know, my mushrooms right by spaghetti sauce, and somebody's going to buy that and add it to their, you know, so that's actually really smart too.
Well, from what I was thinking is you could have like a super expedited checkout. Like right now in Walmart, you have those self-checkouts. But that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, right.
You can have your app, and every time you add something to your cart, so you charge somebody will pay a convenience fee for that, right? Someone will pay you a monthly fee, a convenience fee, just to have an expedited process and checkout and a smoother transaction. You charge a $7, $10, $20 a month convenient fee so that you don't have to wait in line. You don't even have to go through the self-checkout, because when you're shopping, all you do is you just scan your thing and you put it in your cart. And then if you're paying that convenience fee, most likely I can trust you that you're not going to steal stuff. And then there's an easy way to implement like a confidence algorithm where you do random checks and you just check to make sure that everything that's in their cart they actually scanned. And if that verification comes up true, their confidence goes up, where you know that you can trust this person. And
yeah, right. Social
it would revolutionize shopping over here. Like literally, I could make $1 billion over here implementing that here, because so many people are so frustrated with the shopping experience, not being able to find stuff, not knowing where stuff is at. And if I can save you an hour of your time whenever you're going shopping and you're doing that once a week, you're going to pay money for that. If I can let you just go in and out of the store like that and it not be I mean, most people hate going to the supermarket because it's not a pleasant transaction for them. They fucking detest it. People will, that's why online ordering is becoming so popular. That's why you see people like Amazon now delivering food, because people hate going to the store because it's a stupid.
Yeah, Amazon Fresh. Like I even seen Amazon didn't end up running the commercial, but I was an affiliate, so they I forget where I'd seen it, but they put it somewhere. But Amazon had did a commercial like with Amazon Fresh, like joking about like not having to get out to go to Walmart and see people in their PJs, and like they had people fighting, and they had like Jerry Springer like standing there, like everything's like flying everywhere. It's like, do you hate this? And it's like such a perfect picture, and you're right. I mean, this is why Toys R Us went out of business. There's even some blockchain companies that are actually set to do kind of like what you're talking about, where like you go in, like I was talking about, you go in, you take things, and if you go in and you grab something and you pay for it and you walk out, then like you said, then the system knows it can trust you. So like it may not like monitor you as much as somebody that comes in that tries to walk out something and be like, oh, I forgot to scan that on my app. And because Walmart did that out here and they didn't have good success, where you can walk around with a scanner, scan it, and skip the checkout line. If you had the app and you had the scanner, you could scan it and do all that and just walk right out, because you could pay for it right there of your car. But they took it down because the theft was so high. But doing like what you're talking about makes it to where theft, like it controls shrinkage. There won't be as much shrinkage and loss and stuff like that. So it's actually like, man, like even what you're saying from like a marketing, like, man, if you could do that, like I could market the shit out of that.
Well, the theft can be mitigated two ways. One, the subscription. One, the residual. Right. That person on that subscription, that VIP person, is not the mentality of the person that's stealing your fucking cans of tomatoes. All right. And right. You got all these dudes tagged with an RFID frequency thing. You can easily now know what things have actually been scanned, because they all just gonna spam out their own little unique ID. You know which one's been scanned, which ones haven't been scanned, and you can literally at that point, you just add them to the cart for the user. The user don't even have to scan them. You just add them to the cart for the users. Like, oh, you put this in your cart. Like that's what Amazon's doing right now. They have a bag and it's lined with the sensor, and anything you put in that bag, all those things have their own little embedded RFID technology, and they've got a sensor in your bag, and as soon as that thing goes in your bag, then it's added to your cart. If you pull it out, it's subtracted from your cart, and you don't do anything. Literally, like you walk in with the bag, you put stuff in, you walk out the door, and you got charged, and you don't have to do anything. And that's their new ideal of shopping, and it will revolutionize. And over here, there's a huge market. Like over here, India's got 1.6 billion people. I mean, they have a lot less. Yeah. They have a lot less disposable income than a Western market, but they fucking kill it in the market size. There's only one country and that's why I tell people, like, if these dudes, if like some president of India, if they decide to like get their daughter married to the president of China, it's over for the rest of the world.
Yeah, right.
That's 2/3 of the world's population right there. It's over for everybody else. They'll dominate. But there's so many people over here that the market's huge. It's a lot less that you're going to get per person, but the market's huge. And if we could come in over here and just facilitate simple things like that, just based on the market share of people over here, you could just rack up money. You could just, not only could you rack up money, but there's a big difference between racking up money and racking up goodwill, right? It's like you rack up money, that's one thing, but you rack up goodwill where people love your product because it actually creates a positive benefit in their life. What that means is all your future products, they just fucking buy that shit. They're just gonna buy it because you've created a positive value. Like, if I can change your negative experience into a positive experience, then I just built a killer brand. That's all you have to do to build a brand.
Dude, it's amazing. Yeah, I love it. Like, and especially like you're targeting like real, like you're solving real issues, which is really big too. And you have your idea, your projection is going for a real market. You know, that's something, man. It's really passionate. It's something I can tell you're really passionate about, and it's something that's really motivating. That's how I should say it.
Well, my ultimate ambition, James, is to control the whole world with technology. Like, personally, I personally don't believe people should have cars. Like, I personally don't believe that people should have physical vehicles that they own.
Dude, you know what? Sophia the robot would love you, man. Like, the AI singularity.
It's like so inefficient. It's like, why do you have a car that sits in your garage 90% of the time? Like 5%, like right now, if we looked right now, 70% of all vehicles in the world are not in use. They're parked somewhere. It's super inefficient. We still have people driving them, right? It's like, it's easy. It's not easy enough. It'd be a massive overhauling, but the technology exists to have completely humanless cars which will save lives. And there's no need. There's so many societies that are implementing right now car sharing, where like literally that people don't own cars anymore. You just get an app and you go pick up the car and you drop it back off, because it's so much more efficient and it's so much more friendlier to our environment. It's like,
yeah, I was about to say Uber and Lyft and companies like that, dude. Like, they're actually helping, like they're helping take away our footprint, our biological footprint, because like, and you think about it too, like New York and large cities, man. That's the reason why there's like most people. I've got friends that are in New York right now that after college went out there. They don't own cars. They don't own cars at all, and it's eventually the world will get like that anyways. But it's better sooner than later anyways. It takes away our digital footprint, and Uber and stuff like that, man, have already revolutionizing it, because now, like you said, car share.
If you think really, all the people that don't actually care about the digital footprint and don't actually care about our environment, those dudes are dead in fucking 45 years. Like, every person that doesn't actually care about the environment, they're going to die off in 45 fucking years, because it's just your old, like, every millennial out there, for the most part, those people actually are conscious about the environment. They're conscious about what we're doing to our world and what we're doing to our planet. The ones that aren't, they're the old fuckers. They don't care about anything because because that's just how they were raised. They don't fucking let's burn every fossil fuel in the world and destroy the environment, because we're going to be dead once it's destroyed. Who cares? And those people it's like, that's the way of the future, is to cater to all the people downstairs, like all the people underneath.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, definitely.
That's where all the new purchasing power comes. Like, those people are about to go to college, graduate, and they're going to be the ones that are farming everything up.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. And that's another thing. That's why I love what Musk does a lot. Everything that he does is he's trying to change the world and in some way of bettering us. And, his Hyperloop, man, like that right there, put those throughout the world and get rid, completely remove automobiles. Like you said, then we don't need fossil fuels, and, we can focus on renewable energies for things like, like stop using plutonium and all this like crazy shit. Like, you're right, man. You're right. And that's one of the things that motivate me most to be in here. It's not even the softwares, dude. It's your state of mind, dude. Like, people like Musk and you and me and everybody sitting on this call that believe in shit like this will change the world. We'll be the oh shit, what am I trying to say? We'll be the godfathers, we'll be the prospectors of the new world.
Yeah, I got a lot of dreams, man. But what do you guys say we wrap up? It's like 7 a.m. in the morning, 8 a.m. in the morning here.
Hell yeah, man.
My wife didn't want to sleep on me.
Well, I'm ready. I'm putting together my list.
Good night, y'all, or good morning, or good evening, where you're at.
So if
Sorry,
you know
John.
anything, like always, just go to the group, post in the group, or message me. Mostly post in the group.
I'll probably private message you the list of all the things that I'm looking at for a VA.
Cool.
I've got some VAs already, but I'm ready to pull some stuff and do it a little bit differently.
Yeah, like I said, I'm totally down. I'm totally down to work it out and to set it up. So it's going to take a little bit of time, and it's going to take a lot of effort on my side. But if it's something that you guys want to commit to, and you guys will make work on your side, I'll make it work on my side. I'll make sure that they're trained and they can do your stuff. Like I said, the only thing I don't want to do is
none of my stuff is hard. It's not technical. It's just busy work.
I can get people to do busy work they want. I mean, it's not going to be super expensive. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys on the next one. And
Later, brother.
See ya.
You guys have a great night or a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Later.